Look like it's one word. Crazy. We are officially live on the YouTube and on the Facebook. Officially live on the YouTube and on the Facebook, right? Here. Uh, all right, what's the question?
I know we're gonna have to read up some, but my question is in Luke chapter 9, verse 44. And I'm wondering, why does this verse read this way? Can I read it?
You pull it up on the screen so everybody can see. So Luke chapter what?
9, verse 44.
Luke chapter 9, verse 24.
44.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's Luke chapter 9, verse 44. It reads, "Let these sayings sink down into your ears, for the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hand of men." And I'm wondering, why did he use the word "let these sayings sink down into your ears"? That's the part that I'm concerned about. Like, is that from a prophecy from prior, or why is he saying it like that? Let these sayings sink down.
Something he said previously. Something he said previously, telling it to sink down in your ears. All right?
Oh, okay.
You want to read up and see what he's
Come
talking about?
come.
Luke 21.
Chapter 9, verse 44. We're going to put the chapter.
Let me get to my Bible. It's either the stuff he said before or the stuff he's about to say. I mean, it's either one of the two, if I remember. But let me pull up. At 9:44.
Come.
Okay, so the question is, why he's saying let these sayings?
Come. Sink down into your ears.
So the question is, what is the sayings, or the question is in your sing down in your ears? What is the question exactly?
Well, I'm wondering why I'm saying, like, I'm thinking maybe there's a prophecy that's saying something like this, that why he's using these words, because he's saying let it sink down into your ears. That means meditate on it, and
Let it. That means don't let it go in one ear and out the other.
okay.
Right? If it's sink down in your ear, it stays in there. You don't tell them to go in here and out the other ear. That ain't sinking down in your ears.
Okay.
It's going out the other ear. Right? So in other words, you need to retain what I'm saying. Keep these things that I'm saying to you.
Okay.
Right?
Because I think what he was talking about is that I'm not going to be here for forever, and I need you guys to learn the stuff that I'm teaching you. Because it was he casted out a spirit from a young man, and he was trying to they couldn't cast the spirit out. So he's saying he took over and he cast the spirit out, and he told them, I'm not gonna be with you guys for too much. I think that's the part that he's saying, that I'm not gonna be here with you guys too much longer. So you guys gotta pick up what I'm putting down and kind of get with the program a little faster.
So you must be saying that to his disciples.
Yeah, because the disciples, yeah.
The students, because they probably, since he about to go.
Yeah, he told them definitely, because for the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of men, right? So, but they understood not this saying, right? Verse 45.
Verse 45. But they understood not this saying, and it was hid from them, that they perceived it not, and they feared to ask him of that saying.
Right, so that's one of the sayings. So there's more than one of these sayings, meaning, in other words, he said this more than one time to them, right? Let these sayings sink down into your ears. So, and because he said this on plenty of occasions, he told them this, that he would be delivered into the hands of man, right? And remember when he told that in another occasion to Peter, Peter was like, "Not so, Lord."
Right.
He couldn't get thee behind me.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's the saying about him, because we read up and he was talking about something else. But so it's the saying about him being delivered. And then verse 45 goes off into that it was hid from them, that they perceived it not, but they feared to ask him about the saying.
So they was scared to ask him
About
time
that.
is near, but they didn't want to.
They want, about him being delivered into the hands of men, because again, they believe he's here to deliver Israel. He ain't gonna get delivered to nobody's hands. He's the Messiah. He come in a war and take down his enemy, Israel's enemies. Right?
While he was casting out the demon, am I getting this right? Where he says, it says that, and the devil.
What verse you at?
Verse 42.
Oh, let's go up. Go ahead.
It said, and he was yet a coming, the devil threw him down and tear him, and Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit. The devil did that right in front of Jesus?
Yeah. It's an evil spirit.
Okay.
Where was that at? Oh, okay. I see 42, and as he was coming down and there.
What you mean? You know what happened there? He was coming and the devil, he threw the guy down and the devil possessed. Right? And then he tear him.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Like slashing at him, or like what I don't know, tearing him.
Throw him all over the place, rub him all over the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Like in that movie Exodus, how that girl
Yeah.
was doing like this.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying they did to him.
Wow. Okay.
So he was, when he does that, he's trying to harm the host that he is in, because he knows he's about to come out. That's why immediately Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit.
Yeah, he gonna do. That's
When he rebuked him, then he had to come out.
That's why. And then back in some cases when people are possessed, and then the person, the devil, the demon had to do all that, and then they think that then when the demon come out and the person ends up dead or leg broken or something like that, then like people investigate, other people like authorities investigated, wonder how, because it was a movie called The Possession of Emily or something. And then she was possessed, and then they tried to get the demon out, and the demon, and she ended up dying. And they thought the priest beat her to death, trying to get this thing out of her. And actually, the thing was what they was doing Like, and then it was like, well, how she ended up dead then?
Right, they
Like,
tried
it
to charge
doesn't,
him.
it doesn't do that. It doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
It doesn't kill you.
They tried to charge him with murder, though, those
Yeah.
priests, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's why they probably killed her.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
They can't kill someone unless it's sanctioned by the highest.
Come.
The demon can't do what I'm saying,
Come.
but the priest can. I read an instance where a demon possessed someone and the person died. I've not read that. Because their intent is not to kill you.
Right.
They just want to possess you,
Right.
right?
Come.
For them to kill you is pointless.
It seemed like that hurts. Hamashiach Yahweh.
That hurts him because now he have to come out.
You gotta try to find another
Because
body.
they're gonna take the body, they're gonna put the body in the ground.
Wow. Mm.
And he could get buried with the body if
He get buried with the body because he's already in the host already.
Oh, wow.
But if the person is dead, it's become useless to him. He needs a live host. Otherwise, if not, you go to the cemetery and possess a bunch of dead bodies if that's the case, and then get up.
that's why when the pigs when they went over the cliff, like it was all useless for them after
It was
that.
useless for them. Yes. Because listen, where else are they going to go? Right? They can't go to another human being. The Messiah, they might say, come out of this guy. They
Right.
can't say, let me go to this other person over here.
Right.
They ain't gonna tell you go to another person over there. They ain't gonna tell you they're gonna do that. You say, well, there's some pigs over there. I know you're gonna say, yeah, let's go to these pigs, unclean pig. Go.
And he already must have knew.
Yeah,
the
and they
outcome.
went right. They were trying to stay on this plane of existence by going into the pigs.
Right.
But the pigs are like, that ain't finna work. We finna go kill ourselves. They drain into the sea and drown.
Hmm.
When the pigs drown, then they have to.
Yeah.
Now they're back to square one again.
Those pigs were probably there on purpose.
So that you think they went back to the abyss or something?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had to
I think
go.
they did because they didn't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They didn't want to go to the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's why they sent it to the pigs.
Mm-hmm. And pigs was the setup for the most high. Yeah, ask to go, and you already going there.
Yes, no, it's enough for the most high, but it was enough for the people to throw Christ out their region because that's causing them money.
Mhm.
Do you know why they got pigs in that region?
No, what was the pig? They
Because
ate up
pigs,
all the way.
they sacrifice pigs to demons. It's a money making thing for them. They can make money by sacrificing the pigs to demons. They lost a lot of money with them pigs that went down in that ocean.
Wow.
That's why the Texans when they heard her, they came in and said, "Man, get up out of here, man." Because they coughed, he coughed. Well, he ain't coughed the money. The pigs did. I mean, the demons did.
Wow.
Coughed the money.
Mhm.
That's how people don't really care about this stuff. They're about money. You know what I'm saying?
Come.
Why would you thrust a man out your region that casts a demon out of somebody? You want him to stay in your region and get more demons out, right?
Right.
No, they want him out of here.
Bad for business.
They
Wow.
told him to get up out of here and leave.
But when he went hard in the church, they was still mad at him because he knocking money over, like not in my father's house.
Yeah, people got their priorities mixed, twisted all up, man. Again, you can't cost people money.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That happened same thing with Paul when Paul cast that demon out of that girl. That guy was making money off him. That dude was upset. He got mad. And he went and called the council, and he hurt this other guy that was with Paul. He went and beat him up. You know what I'm saying? He's upset. He's careful not to go touch Paul though.
Mm.
Been a problem.
Mhm.
All that thing they did, they locked him up in jail. And then when Paul said he was a Roman, they was shaking in their boots.
Wow.
You can't do a Roman like that
Mhm.
without trying them. They already released them, let them go. Any other questions?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
what was Hamashiach Yahweh Shai unclean when he cast the demons out of the people? Was he unclean?
Nah, how would he been unclean?
Or like casting the spirits out of
Well, he cast him out by his word. He told him to come out. You think he touched him before he cast him out?
Or if he cast out leprosy out of leprosy out of a cursed person would be unclean. He just do it by word of mouth. And prayer and fasting.
Rebuke it. He healed these things and these things with his word, right? He told that girl to arise, right? He's talking.
Come.
He's talking, right? Not necessarily he's touching.
Because the elders lay hands on you when they heal, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hamashiach is speaking.
Yeah, but they laying their hands on clean people.
Come. Okay.
You don't say they laying their hands on clean people.
They do or didn't.
I'm not the elders. I'm saying it doesn't say that the elders lay their hands on clean people. Because if you're unclean, they understand what that is.
Okay.
If you have a leper, what that is.
Yeah,
You was quarantined anyway, away from the regular people, the regular populace.
Okay.
And then you have to when you come across anybody, you have to say unclean according to Torah.
Come. Okay.
Let people know you're unclean,
Okay.
right? So you don't know not to come in contact with you.
Come. Yeah.
So what if the time where the lady touched Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, like the border of his garments?
And the word
Didn't she have a bleeding problem?
Yeah, she had a blood problem. Yeah,
Was he still clean then?
of course. Yeah, it healed her. His power healed her. That didn't defile that can defile him.
But he did say virtue. My virtue has gone.
Some virtue has gone out of him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Powers.
That don't mean that he's not unclean or nothing like that, though.
No way. But I'm saying, what does he touch though?
His fringes.
Bottom of his.
What's the fringes?
Border of his
Borders of garments.
What is the border of the garment?
the end of your garment. The end of
What is it?
It's a
What does it represent?
that is Hamashiach.
Oh, the law.
Yahweh Shai.
It represents the law.
come,
It represents the law,
come,
right?
come.
That's the law. It is symbolic in showing you that the law could have cleansed that woman. She wasn't keeping the law.
Wow.
But she did have good faith though.
She had faith in who he was based on what it says in Malachi. But if she would have kept the Torah,
She
Like
wouldn't
he
have
was
had the
supposed to.
issue in the first place.
of course not. The issue came because of her violation of Torah. Yes, sir.
I was thinking about this morning. I am excited to get ready to do this fast, man. I am excited. I'm ready.
We got about 9 days to go, bro. We ready. We gonna do this thing.
So in 9 more days when we get all the unleavened bread out of the house. Or well, when did that start? What day did that start?
That started April 3rd.
Third.
April
Okay.
3rd. By the 10th,
Mhm.
you get ready to prepare for the lamb, start getting everything out your house. They start around the 10th.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But again, you can start before. You don't have to
Come.
wait till then, right? You can go in and start getting it out now.
Mhm.
So it'll be probably from the 10th until the
14th. So they give you 4 days to get everything ready.
Come.
Get all the leaven out, get the lamb prepared, without blemish and all that, everything set.
I
Yes,
heard
sir.
Alan Nathaniel say 13th. Is it 13th sundown or?
13th sundown. It's a Saturday.
No. Okay.
No, it's a Sunday.
Correct. It's a Sunday.
Okay.
It's a Sunday.
So when they'll be able to eat lever again though?
Say again?
When would they be able to eat lever? When will we be able to eat lever?
Leaven, you mean leaven bread?
Uh,
You can't eat nothing leaven.
For the whole week.
for the whole week.
So
So
8 days.
7 days.
7 days.
7 days. 7 days.
maybe on the
That's the 13th.
17th.
That's about the 20th.
Okay.
Yeah, just to be safe, the 20th.
Um,
April 20th. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
On the safe side. Yeah, so I mean, prepare now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm gonna keep reminding you, keeping you guys posted on the situation. No leaven for a week.
and is normally See, like the taco shells, is that still like bread, but it's flat?
You gotta read the ingredients.
Con.
Con.
Leaven
No,
is
so-
yeast.
Are you talking about the tortillas? I mean, Tony? Yeah, tortillas is not leaven. It's not leaven.
You gotta read the
I'm
ingredients.
gonna still read it though.
Yeah, you read the ingredients. The best thing is to read the ingredients, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Crackers.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's better. But for what I know, they're not. But it's best to read the ingredients whenever you get it. So
Everything
Still,
yeah. Cause I do the corn tortillas and stuff, but you still got to read that stuff, bro. Cause they always trying to throw a splash of lemon in there somewhere. You know how they
A
do.
little leaven.
Yeah, they
yeah, because like to give you understand, like like the Albertsons by my house, like there's like some I mean it's not leaven, but I read the ingredients of like the baked chicken there. That's why I don't buy it no more. Like they had like I guess like they either had like either leaven or yeast or like some type of like pork products and stuff, whatever. Like I guess like the seasoning or something like that, whatever. It's crazy. So you have to really read stuff, man. You have to really read the ingredients.
best thing to do is to read.
Con.
All right, hey, Shabbat Shalom, Aria. What's going on, bro?
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
All right.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
I got a question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did Paul say that it was okay to eat food sacrificed in idol temples?
La'a. Let's get that. I just posted up a few days ago, me and this Tanakh only brothers going over that same situation in First Corinthians. He was trying to say that Paul was saying you can eat things sacrificed
Unto idols.
unto idols. He was pushing hard, bro. He was pushing hard, man. Yeah, he was man. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians the 10th chapter. Let me pull this back up here.
Yeah, is it 8? 1 Corinthians 8, verse 10.
You want to go to 8 first? We go to 8 first. We go to 8. 1 Corinthians chapter 8. Let's start at 1 Corinthians chapter 8. Go ahead. Man, let's start at the top. You get some context here. Let's start at the top. You get some context. Because this is where we started in the thing that I uploaded. Me and him, this dialogue. All right, who got that for me?
I'll take it.
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 8 from the top.
Yes, sir.
It reads, now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge.
Don't we?
Come on.
We all know we got knowledge, have information. Go ahead.
Knowledge puffeth up.
Does it not?
Come on.
Con.
Yeah, people are puffed up because they know a little something.
Prideful.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But charity edifieth.
Right. But charity edify, right? Sincere love, right? Go ahead.
And if any man think that he knoweth anything,
But if you think you know anything, go ahead.
he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know.
You don't know what you really need to know. You think you know something?
That's my verse.
You don't really know what you need to know. You know what I'm saying?
That's why wise men say, I don't know nothing.
That's right.
That's all I know is I
That's
don't know
right.
nothing.
Right. The only thing we know is the Most High in Christ. That's it.
That's it, right?
Right? And what they tell us.
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. But if any man love the Most High, the same is known of him.
If any man love the Most High, there's a whole bunch of lip service going on. They don't really love the Most High. Actions don't show it, right? If you really love the Most High know who you are. Go ahead.
As concerning, therefore, the eating of those things which are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world.
We know that an idol is nothing. Zero. Go ahead.
And that there is none other God but one.
We know there's only one God. Right? Meaning that we know there's only one true God. There's lesser gods, but we know there's only one true God. Meaning there's one being that runs everything. Right? There's no co-equal and none of that other nonsense. That Trinity about co-this is foolishness, right?
Come.
They're co-equal and co-that, that's ridiculous.
Mhm.
None of that happening there.
Come.
There's no nothing with them with the Father.
Come. One of those
It's
gods.
him and everybody else is serving.
Come.
That's just what it is.
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. It reads, For though there be that are called gods,
Right? There be the called gods. Go ahead.
whether in heaven
The angels are called gods. They're in heaven. Go ahead.
or in earth,
Men call themselves gods, right? The pharaohs were called gods. The Caesars were called gods, right? People call their kings gods, right?
mhm,
Again, this is not alien to the nation of Israel,
come.
right? The king of Israel is called a god, is he not?
Come. That's what all the sir and all of that.
Who's the king? I mean, who's the king of Israel is who?
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach Yahushua.
Come.
He's called a god, is he not?
Come.
Okay, go ahead.
As there be gods many
Mhm.
and lords many,
Go ahead.
but to us there is but one God,
One supreme being. Go ahead.
the Father,
This title is the Father. Go ahead.
of whom all things, and we in him,
Of
and
whom are all things, mean all things was created by the Father. It all comes from him, right? And we in him, right?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
and one Lord, Hamashiach Yahushai,
And one Lord, one Lord, Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
by whom all things, and we by him.
By whom are all things, meaning that's who God used to create everything through, and we by him, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge.
Every man don't know that there's only one God and one Lord, right? I come here, when I come into this Christians and I say, where's your Trinity at here? Where is it? Where is it here?
Hmm.
Because wouldn't it be wrong for Paul to point out two of them and not the third one?
Come.
Wouldn't, right?
You didn't give the third one reverence.
You didn't give the third one the reference.
And he would know.
He would know. If you claim that's what they was teaching, it should be right here, but it's not, right? And that's why he says, howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience
Conscience.
of the idol unto this hour eat it, as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled.
So now we have some, right? But some with conscience, what? They have a mind towards the idol, right?
Mhm.
Unto this hour, they're eating things, right? Eating it as a thing offered unto idols, right? They're eating things in their mind offered unto idols. It says on their mind, their conscience, being weak is defiled, right? So there is the defilement of your understanding, right? A defilement of your conscience, what Paul is pointing out here, right?
Mhm.
That's for some. Some of their mind, their conscience or mind is defiled. The understanding is defiled based on what they're doing, because their action is showing you
Wow.
your mentality is defiled. Because you're eating it as a thing offered unto idols.
Mhm.
And we know that the idol is nothing, but you're just dumb.
Right.
You don't eat something offered to an idol, the idol is nothing.
Right. Dumb idols.
It don't make any sense, right?
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. But meat commendeth us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse.
Yeah, but it says, but meat commendeth, meat presents us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, right? Neither if we eat not are we the worse, right?
So what is it fully saying right there?
Eating meat doesn't make you any better than the person that don't eat meat.
Mhm. Mhm.
So commendeth us, when you go into the word commend, is presenteth us not to God, right? But neither if we eat are we better, neither if we eat not are we the worse, right? He's gonna clear it up. I'm saying I'm gonna let Paul do it. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna let him do it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna read down. Let him do it. All right, go ahead.
Verse 9. But take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
So, but take heed, right? But understand, least by any means, this liberty, right? This authority or this power that you have, right? Of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. Again, he's going to explain what he's saying, right? We'll let him do it. And he's only misunderstanding. I can come back and clear it up. Right? The stumbling block to them that are weak. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 10. For if any man see thee which has knowledge,
If anyone see you that have knowledge, right? So I'm gonna look at you. This guy right here have some knowledge, right? Go ahead.
sit at meat in the idol's temple,
You sitting at meat in the idol's temple. If any man see you that have knowledge, meaning right, someone see that know you know better, right?
Come.
And they seen you eat at meat, sitting at meat in the idol's temple. Go ahead.
shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols?
Right? Now, they didn't see you eating meat in the temple. They saw you in the temple, though. They saw you in the idol's temple, right?
Okay.
He said, man, someone that's weak-minded might be thinking, oh, he's over there eating meat offered to idols. When you could be in there trying to convert someone to do something different. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, you got to take heed to this liberty of yours that you have because you have knowledge. Be careful, right? Because if someone see you sitting in that temple and they don't really know what you're in there doing, they can assume you're in there doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, right or wrong?
That's right. That's right.
Right?
Mhm.
If I saw a priest in a strip club, I'm thinking what he's in there doing. I don't think he's in the convert strippers, right? Do I think what he's in there doing? I'm thinking he a lap dance, is he not? No, I didn't see him get a lap dance, but I'm thinking he trying to get a lap dance.
You know what?
They're gonna ask them. They're gonna ask
Yeah, they're gonna definitely ask him. But I'm saying you that don't know any better, you're gonna think that the worst. You're gonna think you need to do something positive.
Come. That's true.
Cause you weak, you're a new brother. You kind of weak, don't think he's doing the wrong thing. Right?
Like seeing somebody at the police station.
Right. So what Paul is saying to them is that listen, you should avoid these places. Would that make more sense? Avoid these places. So there is no kind of association with you in the place can even come up. No one never see you in that place.
You ain't gotta explain.
You ain't got to do no explaining, right? Because if they see you in there, now you got to explain.
Use wisdom.
You got to use wisdom, right? That's why Paul said, taking heed now, because someone see you up in there, you don't think you're doing something wrong, bro. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 11, right?
Yes, sir.
And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish for whom Christ died.
And through thy knowledge, right? You have knowledge, shall the weak brother perish who Christ died for, right? Because you have knowledge. You know that that's the idol is nothing in the world. You don't know that, right?
Dumb idols, huh?
Yeah. But because of your knowledge, you saying, listen, I can be in here and I can try to go in and do my knowledge thing and try to tell people this is wrong. But someone on the outside don't know what you're doing, right?
I was looking in.
But looking in, and you can go ahead and then hurt the weak brother of who Christ died for. Because he might go thinking it's okay to go do something like that, right? Because many a times when a younger brother see an elder or someone in something like that, the younger brother would be afraid to ask him, what is he doing in there? You know what I'm saying? They're afraid to say something. Am I right or wrong?
Question is authority.
You don't want you're afraid to ask him or question what he's doing in it because you think he's gonna lash out at you. So you really don't ask. You know what I'm saying?
And some of these camps, and they might be afraid because they might have to come out the pockets.
That too, you know what I'm saying? That too as well. But that happened to me, you know what I'm saying? I asked a question too when I saw one of the brothers talking to this Edomite woman, and we here to talk about Edomites. Why are you buddy with this Edomite woman? I wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I'm up holding post. I asked the captain, he's a captain, Asked him next to me what he thought about that, because that didn't look right,
Mhm.
right? That didn't make any sense to me.
Hypocrite.
Yeah. That's how it looked to me, right?
Mhm.
Now he's claiming, after done, he's claiming he's over there trying to finesse something.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to finesse something to get us further into Pasadena. And I'm like, but we are here talking about these people,
Mhm.
right? We calling them the devil
Mhm.
and all kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And you over here in the corner with one of the devils
Working with him.
doing something.
You talk about Thor one.
Yeah, he doing something with the devil in the corner. I'm like, wait a minute, how does that make any sense?
Mhm.
Right?
Mm.
If they're the devil, why would you want to, where would you want to even be seen or associate with a devil, right?
Come
The Bible said don't have no company with devils.
separate yourself.
Right?
Come on.
I'm knowing all these verses in the text, and I'm like, that don't look correct, like what the book is saying,
Right.
right?
Right.
But I'm not questioning what he's doing. I'm asking the captain, man. Well, how did that look to you?
Yeah, you ain't even
How did
go.
that look to you?
Just how it-
So he's a captain. He can say, listen, this, that, and the third. You a young cat. Let me school you on what's really going on,
I
right?
was the captain at the time.
I'm off Galah. He go tell Taiwan.
Mm.
He listen, he tells him like I'm questioning what he's doing. And that's not what I did.
Mhm.
I asked his opinion
How it looks
on what
at
he
the
thought,
cop.
on what I'm looking at.
Mhm.
I asked your opinion. That's what I did.
Come.
But now I'm questioning, I'm questioning the general's
Okay.
actions. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now I'm in a council.
Come. Come.
But asking a question now.
Come.
How I look to you.
Yeah.
Not even what he did.
That would look bad to anybody, right? That would look bad to anybody that's new. You calling these people the devil and everything else, and you could name it. Then you calling them all these different things, and they nasty and whatever else.
Mhm.
But yet you over here buddy with them, like what's really going on?
He was being a hypocrite.
That's how. Listen, I'm not saying he was. I'm saying that's how it looked.
Yeah.
That's what Paul is saying. Paul said if they see you in the idol's temple, you know what I'm saying? How it looks, you know what I'm saying? Like you're doing something in there wrong.
Mhm.
Even to people out of the spirit, if they know what's going on, I still look some type of way to
Look
them
some
too.
kind of right. Look
Like,
some kind of
they
way.
over there calling y'all devils and you
And you
next to
buddy,
them,
buddy.
yeah, like on both
Oh,
sides.
he cordial all in her face like they from the, you know what I'm saying, for the tango or something. I'm like, what's really going on here?
Ready to do a dancing in the
Yeah, that's
street.
how he looked. Yeah.
Conversation.
Listen, she's smiling, he's smiling. Right? Listen, he's smiling, she's smiling, right?
Come.
Your brother that's up teaching, the Edomite's devil, Christ's gonna kill you. All this he's teaching, right? And while he's right here next to the guy, they smiling with each other. I'm like, hey, something is wrong with this picture right here.
Mhm.
I just got teaching saying we about to kill him and Christ's gonna kill him and all kind of stuff. And you over here right next to him,
Mhm.
smiling in this woman's face and all like something's wrong with that.
Keep giggling, whole
Yeah,
full blown
giggling.
conversation.
Oh,
That's not, to be honest, it wasn't right, because you can't.
hey, all I'm saying it didn't look right.
Mm.
Didn't look right.
That's
but
why I
it's
asked the
now-
question.
Now, if I was out there, I'd be like, why is that doesn't.
You ain't been in the council, Yabana, like I was.
It looks weak, like a Simon Weak.
It looked weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you want something, because he said it was something, he was trying to get a school out there or
So now you're
something.
trying to network with her, they're trying to get us further into Pasadena to teach. And I'm like, what? Why were you doing
Why
that?
he
You
was
didn't
over
teach
there
them?
Pasadena.
People.
So why they was over in Pasadena anyway, like that?
He's in Pasadena because he tried to put on one of our shows on a cable network in Pasadena,
Mhm.
but they turned him down. So he mad. So now he want to come out here and blast them because they turned him down.
Yeah.
So we out here originally to blast Pasadenans, so-called white people, because they turned him down on the cable show. But now he buddy with one of them while we blasting them.
In the corner.
Right here on the corner.
That's all wrong.
Like something's wrong. Anyway, it is what it was. So verse 11, and through that knowledge shall the weak brother perish for whom Christ died. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. But when ye sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience ye sin against Christ.
Right. So now, because what you're doing, you're showing the younger brother something that you're not supposed to be.
Come,
Right.
come,
You're supposed to be leading by example.
come.
So now they're taking what you're doing wrong. You're hurting a weak conscience by doing something like that. So Paul is labeling is that you're sinning. You're hurting the weak brother like that Hamashiach died for.
Come.
You're not supposed to be doing that. He says E-man here coming in. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend,
If meat make my brother to offend, make my brother go off, right? Go ahead.
I will eat no flesh.
I would eat no flesh. See, now we clear on what kind of meat it is. We know meat can be fruits and vegetables, but now he mentions flesh, so we know he's talking about animals, right? Go ahead.
While the world
So
standeth,
we eat no flesh while the world standeth. Go ahead.
lest I make my brother to offend.
Right. So the whole thing is to not make you a weaker brother or another brother to offend by your actions. So you gotta watch your actions. And that's why I say again, Guerrilla Hebrew that was poor judgment by what he was doing.
Man.
Anybody see him up in there is he was actually like Paul is saying, he was working another weaker brother conscience. You know what I'm saying? And what's worst of all, he had other like he said other leaders, right? Sakari leaders, they wouldn't say nothing to him. They wouldn't say, yo, brother, you shouldn't be in no strip club. That's off. We ain't leaving the teaching zone going to a strip club. You shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. No one in the camp in the church is telling him nothing. They watching him do it and they don't say nothing to him.
I'll meet you there.
It's the bad thing.
It's
It's
dirty.
the worst. Right. Someone got to say something. Someone got to say, brother, that's wrong. No, we're not doing, you shouldn't be doing that, You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's one of the worst things ever. You have brothers around you that seeing you do things and don't want to say something when they see that it is wrong. Like they're afraid to say something. That's not no love, bro. You something that's wrong, you should say something.
That's a lot of unclean spirits in there. From the money to the tricks.
Yeah, but it's when you when you come up with this dictator, you know what I'm saying? You come off like this and can no one tell you nothing? You can't be corrected. People don't want to say nothing to you because they're gonna feel if I say something to him, he's gonna come with this story about how he right and you wrong and he don't want to take correction. You can't come off like that. You got to come off like, bro, I'm open to correction. Whatever it is, speak, you know what I'm saying? Show the verses and the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? You're right. You can't come off like to make people feel that they can't approach you. You're not approachable when it comes to speaking on something that they feel you're doing is wrong. You can't come off like that. It's gonna hurt you in the long run.
So he don't feel that that's worldly, huh?
Nope. He feel that's okay. He thinks it's okay in the book. He says okay in the book. Clearly the book says you can't do that. All right, let's go to the next one. T Miles, anything here you want to clarify for you? Or you good so far right here, T Miles?
Yeah, basically, what was he saying in those few verses?
Which two?
The ones you read, like from 7 to 10, 11.
7 to 11.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get 7 to 11 again.
Come.
Yes, sir.
Starting at verse 7. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge.
Right. So semicolon. When I see them semicolons there, I think there's more that they kind of redacted when I see that kind of stuff there. So we know that portion belongs to the previous verse, right? About the one God and the one Lord, right?
It's like it, but that's a colon, not a semicolon.
That's a colon. Type for the correction, brother. A colon. When I see that right there, I think they redact something because look like there's something else that was there that they took out. All right, go ahead.
For some with conscience of the idol unto his hour eat it as the thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience be weak is defiled.
So verse 7 again, he's speaking of there's some people, not everybody, but there's some of them that do this, right? There's some they have a conscience towards the idol, right? These people have towards, they have a conscience, have a mind towards the idol. Unto this very hour, he's saying, in his time, they eat it, they're eating something, right? Whatever it is, eat it as a thing offered unto idols, right?
Mhm.
And their conscience being weak is defiled, right? Let's slow it down now, right? When someone is eating a meat with a conscience on the idol, what are they doing?
Right, worshiping?
If I'm eating a meat,
Mhm.
right, an animal flesh, right,
Mhm.
and I'm eating it, but my conscience towards the idol that I'm eating this meat from, what am I doing? Let me come to the Bible then, right? We are told, we're coming up with the Passover, right? We are told to kill a lamb,
Come.
right? Or a goat. Let's be clear what it says. It says both. But I'm gonna go to the lamb, right?
Okay.
People to kill a lamb, put the blood under the doorpost, right? But then we eat the lamb, right? We
Come.
take out the inside, we roast them, right?
Come.
And we eat them, right?
Come.
We also told out who's our lamb, who's our Passover lamb.
Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right?
Come.
Right?
Come.
Christ isn't an idol, though.
Right.
He's real. He's not a statue.
Right.
He's real, right?
Right.
But we eat a lamb.
Right.
He's our lamb.
Come.
Do we eat a lamb with a conscience towards Christ?
La.
You do not?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you do, but yeah.
he's fulfilling for the.
What are you
substitute.
doing? So what are you doing when you have a conscience towards Christ, right? And you're
Yeah.
eating a lamb,
Come.
what are you doing?
Eating soul food?
No, eating the food,
I mean, eating spiritual food.
to substitute for, it's hard to explain it, but it's,
Are you eating Christ?
La.
What are you doing?
You eating the idol. You eating, well,
he's substituting, like,
nah,
you are, I mean,
You're showing reverence, are you not?
come,
I thought,
To some degree, you're
kind of
showing
like worshiping the
you're showing some kind of reverence or worship towards
idol.
the person that represents the meat,
Come. Okay.
right or wrong,
Come.
right?
Come. Okay.
I'm showing reverence toward the person that the meat represents. Christ isn't a literal lamb,
Right.
but he represents a lamb,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you eating the lamb, you're showing reverence to the person that represents the lamb,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Come.
So you're showing the reverence and respect, right? So when
like
someone
condones,
not condone it, but showing respect, respect to the person because of something that he represents, of what he is, or what he's done for you, or what he's doing for you.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? Yabana.
So that's what the Last Supper they was doing, and he was going over the text, this is my body, and
Yes.
this is my
Kinda
blood.
like, right,
You
show me-
representing me.
You're right.
Okay.
This is my right. You know, in other words, what you're doing is that supper is showing you that becomes a part of me,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
You becoming
Okay.
united,
Okay.
right? That's why Paul said when someone eat the Lord's body unworthily, you diss the Lord's body, and he says many end up dead.
Come.
You know what I'm saying?
Come.
So Paul talks about it being some kind of showing some respect. So have some respect for the Lord's body.
Right.
When you're doing this thing, right? So when you eating the lamb with some reverence to Christ, it's showing some reverence and respect for who he is and what he did,
Okay.
right?
Come.
If you come to the idol, when someone is eating something, a meat offered unto an idol, with a conscience of the idol, they're showing reverence and respect to who? The idol.
Oh.
Because they believe, because Paul said we know that the idol is nothing.
Right.
But if you're
Yeah.
eating it with conscience to the idol, you believe the idol is something,
yeah,
right or not?
yeah,
Or you wouldn't be doing it like that,
Right.
right? So it has to be something to you, right?
Right. So,
While you doing it. So that's why we go to the verse that says, for some with a conscience of the idol, they think it's something.
come.
Unto this very hour, eat it as a thing offered what? Unto idols.
Come.
He says, and their conscience, because they think it's something, being weak, is defiled.
Mhm.
That's what he's saying here,
Okay.
right?
Come,
That's verse 7, all right?
come.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. But meat condemneth us not,
Commendeth.
a
The word is
commendeth,
commendeth there.
commendeth us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse.
So the word there, commendeth, again, is the word, present. Let me show it. Hold on. Let me show it. I gotta show it. Maybe a broader definition here. You can see, can I bring it up? Go. Oh, this is not- One after.
This AI keyboard saves me hours each day.
Eight. Verse 8. But me commendeth. Look at the word commend. I'm gonna share it. Okay. Here we go. Here. And here. Right. So this is the word here. For commend, right? It's pariste. Pariste. Pariste me. Pronunciation here. Pariste me. Pariste me. Right. Strong numbers G3936. Originally prolonged. Paristiano from 3844 and 2876. Stand aside. Let me go back. Hold up. Come back up. I.e. example to exhibit, proper, commend, right? Substantiate, right? To beat at the hand, to bring before, command, give presently, present, prove, or provide, show, stand. So basically what we're talking about here. So I went with this word here. Is not going to present you before the Most High, right? Or give presently, or bring before, aid, assist, all these different things, right? Is what the word beginning here. Let me stop sharing that, right? And come back to the text.
So that's commended.
That's the word for commendeth right there, right? Present, prove, give presently, command, commend, bring before, right? This is all the definition is coming from. To be at hand, in other words, so basically it's kind of like you coming before somebody,
Okay.
right? You're present, or you be present with somebody. Let me get this out the way here. Come back to the text. So me is not going to present to you, right, or commend you in before the Most High, right? In other words, you're not a better person. You can get some accolades because you're eating meat. You ain't getting accolades because you don't eat meat,
Come,
right?
Mhm.
Before the Most High.
come.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's on the same level to the Most High presenting if you're a vegetarian or not.
Yeah, but the difference would be the conscience. If you're eating it with a conscience to an idol, it's the difference. But just plainly eating it or plainly not eating it, that's not going to commend you to the Most High, meaning that I'm more closer to God now because I'm eating meat or I'm not eating meat.
Mhm.
The issue comes in with the conscience,
Okay. Okay.
right? The conscience now separates, right?
The conscience toward the idol, right?
The conscience towards the idol. You're conscious
So
towards
is he
the idol.
saying? So is he saying you can eat meat long as your brother don't see you because it'll tempt him to eat it?
No, you can't eat meat in the idol's temple. You can't let him see you eat meat in the idol's temple, because if you did in the idol's temple, he's going to assume you eating it towards the idol,
Mm.
right? Because of where you, because of your location. You're in the idol's temple.
So it really didn't have nothing to do with eating meat. It's where you are.
It's where you are in the conscience.
Come. Got you.
He's where you become. Remember, he start off in verse 7, and he said, for some with a conscience towards the idol.
Come.
So he's dealing with some people that are conscious towards the idol.
Come.
And then later on, he goes into the location. If someone see you in the idol's temple,
Right.
then he brings up the location, right? But verse 8 is basically saying that if you eat or not, that's not going to make you any better or closer to God.
Mhm.
But some people do think that. Some people think because they're vegetarian,
Mhm.
right? And they say, but I'm more healthier,
Right.
I'm closer to God. That's their mentality.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because they're thinking that because I'm more healthier, my vessel is more cleaner, I'm more closer to God. You eat meat, your vessel is dirty, you ain't more closer to God than me.
Mhm.
It's the mentality,
Okay.
right?
Come.
That's what he's addressing. That's what he's addressing in verse 8, right?
Is this the same meaning when people, family members pass and they pour out some liquor for them?
Yeah, that's a man ritual and stuff like that, right? They thinking they doing that person reverence by pouring out liquor for that person that's passed away, right? To them, that's how they show reverence to somebody.
Come.
But are you really reverencing somebody when you're doing stuff like that? You should have been telling them to do the right thing when they're there.
Mhm.
Because once they're gone, you can do nothing for them after that, can't you?
Wow.
It's done. Definitely go get judged according to the text. Right. So verse 8 again, me commended us not to God, for neither if we eat are we better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. Right. Verse 9.
But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
Right. So now, because if you eat or don't eat, you have a liberty, right? You have a liberty to eat and not eat, right?
Come.
I can choose whether to eat or not eat, right?
Come.
Again, everything got to be lined up, of course, with the dietary laws.
Come.
Of course, right? That goes, I got to mention it before people start saying, you know what I'm saying? I can eat anything, you don't specify. Of course, you have to eat, right? So that's why Paul said, take heed of this liberty of yours,
Right.
don't become a stumbling block to somebody. There's someone that's weak. Because it can be,
Come. Right.
right? Because people are not conscious sometimes of what they're doing. Your actions is teaching at the same time,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Watch the Messiah. Watch how he moves. He knows what he's saying does is also a teaching tool. You got to be careful because you're thinking, well, I didn't teach that. You did it with your actions.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
Or even a person, I didn't say that, but you know the
But
meaning.
what
of-
you did. So you got to be. So he said, take heed this liberty of yours, become not a stumbling block to them that are weak. Right? A stumbling block is to put something in front of someone, right? They don't see it's there.
Mm.
That's why they trip over it.
Mm.
That's what a stumbling block is. You don't see that there's an obstacle in front of you. Because if you saw it, you just walk over it, right or wrong.
Right.
So a stumbling block is something that you don't see. And that's how you fall over it. Right? Meaning that the person don't understand. He doesn't see or understand what's happening. So he makes a mistake because he don't perceive what's there. He don't perceive what you're doing in the idol's temple. You don't
What is
understand.
the liberty that he's talking about right there?
The freedom to eat or not eat.
Yes. Freedom.
The liberty to eat or not eat.
The meat that's in the idol temple?
No, just to eat meat or not eat meat.
Oh, okay.
Eat or not meat. The problem that comes in when he picks it up in the next verse, where you're eating it. Now let's say you choose not to eat whatsoever,
Mhm.
then you have no problems, right or wrong.
Right,
If you don't eat no meat, no one can see you eat no meat nowhere, and there's no issue there.
right,
But if you do eat meat, now I got to address that side of it.
okay.
You decide to eat meat, he comes back here in verse 10. Go ahead.
Verse 10, for if any man see thee which has knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple.
Now addressing those that eat. But he said, listen, if someone see you, right, which have knowledge, they know you know better, right? Sit at meat, where? In the idol's temple.
Mhm.
They see you in the idol's temple. See what the backstory to Corinthians, that's why again the backstory is very important. There's a lot of this stuff going on,
Mhm.
right? There's a whole lot of idols, temples, and stuff in Corinth. And there's a whole lot of people going from different places to different places all over the place, right? Because you might have a friend, right? That's going to the idols temple, right? An Israelite. You don't know he going to the idols temple. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But you over there to try to get him away from there, right?
Mhm.
But a weaker brother see you going up in there, he see you walk up in there and he don't see you no more. You gone, you inside of the temple. And you in there for however long you in there trying to talk to that brother and get him up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
You think oh man, he's up in there congregating with him, and you know what I'm saying? He probably up in there doing his thing with them.
Right, right,
So you say be careful.
right.
Be careful. Because if
Very-
someone see you in there and you have knowledge and you up in there and sitting up in the idols meet, right?
You're looking like a hypocrite
But you're not in there doing. You in there trying to get this brother out.
out of there.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had people to this day always invite me to their church,
Mhm.
right? Because they swear now they pastor different.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm like, y'all pastor all this. No, not my pastor. Not my pastor. We different.
Mhm.
All right, well, let's see. I go up in there to see because they pushing the issue that they pastor different. They pastor teaching the right thing. Okay, let's hear it then. Right?
Mhm.
If someone that's weak saw me go up in there and say, man, I'm up in there. I'm a Christian.
Mhm.
You going to Christian church. You going to Christian church, bro. Nah, I ain't never none of that. Yeah, nah, I saw you in that church, brother. Nah, brother, we saw you in the church. Don't try to explain it. You know what I'm saying?
Explain
Hey,
it.
look, and not even that. I got you on tape, brother. I got your video.
That's what I'm saying, brother.
Oh, wow.
Right. Yeah, because some churches, the churches, they're videotaping. You know what I'm saying? But we saw you sitting down in the church listening, brother. You look like you having a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Picture in your car.
Picture in your car, all of that.
Hey, Salaki, you guys got low again. Like I think you need to replace the mic. Just like I think it happened a little bit before too. Like it's like go in and out. Like
Yeah, I forgot, man. I have it in the car. I'm gonna do it next week. I need to do it in the car. I want to do it right now before we have some issue plug and playing it up. Yeah, I gotta remember to replace this microphone then. Yeah, so then it must be going out then. Maybe the wire messed up or something. It's going out. Yeah, so you got to be careful. If someone see you in a bad location, that they don't perceive what you're doing is wrong, or take it the wrong way, because it can't happen. It can't happen. But if it does happen, and you get wind of it, get to explain it. Get to explain it. And listen, and don't stutter. You got to get it correct.
See what happened.
Because if you do that, they're gonna say that how you're not sure what you're saying, you're trying to make something up. You got to be firm in what you're saying and be right on that. Boom, 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 boom. Right? You got to, because again, if right, listen, if you get on the stand and you fumbling, what they gonna think?
Oh, he lying.
You think you're lying?
Making up stuff about it.
They gonna think you lying.
Get your lies straight.
Get your lies. There you go. The best thing to do is to not even go. Don't even go. Listen, bro, I'm gonna talk to you outside that temple or somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go in there and talk to you. Talk to you outside or something like that.
Fetch you. I'll wait till you come.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So that's what he's talking about in verse 10, right? Be careful because you might mess up the weak brother conscience if he sees you there in that temple, right? Sitting at me in the idol's temple. Right? Verse 11.
Verse 11. And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish for whom Christ died.
Right. So it's through your information, your knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The weak brother, because again, you know either there's nothing in this wrong, right? But you're there because of the information. You know better.
Mm.
The other brother you're trying to convert don't know better,
Mm.
right? But you know better, so you're trying to show them.
Mm.
But you're picking the wrong location to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said, take heed now to this liberty of yours, right? Because of the knowledge that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because knowledge gives you a certain freedom, does it not?
Yes, it does.
It gives you a certain freedom because you know more now what to do and what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Versus before, you didn't know too much, you were limited. You know what I'm saying? That's why people love to become lawyers, because lawyers know a lot of don't do and could do.
Mm-hmm.
Where you, on the other hand, don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they see you doing things, they say, he don't know no better. He can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yes, sir.
well, I think Cain, was it Abraham too, made a flesh offering to the Most High?
You mean Noah? A sacrifice?
Khan, it might have been Noah.
Okay.
Khan, and he smelt the remedy of it.
The sweet savor.
Sweet savor.
Con. Yeah.
I mean,
It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. All right, so again, in other words, Paul is saying right here, you got to be, if you have someone that have knowledge, you got to be careful on your movements. You got to be careful on your movements and how you operate. Like I told y'all before, people are watching you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know it or not. Someone is watching you. You know what I'm saying? They looking. They're waiting for you to make a mistake. They waiting for you to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna say, see,
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. Knew it. Knew you was like that. They're waiting for it to happen.
That's the first thing they go off like it's a hanger.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z said, say people are praying and praying for my downfall. They waited for him to make a mistake. Praying and praying he do something wrong. So they can rip him down. Yeah, you ain't that bad rapper you think you are. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, here it is right. They waiting. They praying on it to happen.
Don't even know what it'll be.
You know what? Yeah.
But I knew it.
But that goes with the territory. You got to understand in the position that you're in, that's what it is. That's to do with the Messiah when it comes to the Pharisees. They was waiting for him to make a mistake. The text tell you they try to chop him in his words, ask him this, after they're trying to catch him in something, but they couldn't catch him in nothing. It comes with territory. You got to respect that. That's to be expected, right? That's why you got to be on your P's and Q's. Cross all your T's and dot your I's. The one I you don't dot is gonna be a problem, right?
Thought it was an L.
I go.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I thought to anybody, you want to jump in my position, you can come get it, because come get it. There's a lot that comes with it. The scripture said, "To whom much is given, much is required." It's a lot required of you, right? You want more, you gotta serve more, sacrifice more, right?
Come on.
All right, T Miles, we good right here, T Miles, or no?
Yeah, Con.
Okay. Let's get the last one here. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Let me go back to the KJV here. Gotta install this thing.
What is that?
It's an app. They want me to keep register the keep popping up till I register. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Verse 24. First Corinthians chapter 10, we'll start at verse 24.
Yeah, I got this one.
All right, go ahead.
I read from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 24. It reads, "Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth."
Be clear? Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. Right? That's how the cycle goes around. If I'm looking out for you, you're looking out for him, he looking out for me.
Okay.
Right? Let no man seek his own, right? But every man another man's wealth, right? Right. Listen, if I'm looking to make, listen, because if I say to myself, I'm trying to make me rich, how do I look?
Greedy.
Selfish.
Selfish.
Do I not?
Yeah,
If I'm trying to make you rich, how does it look?
Wow.
Look like brotherhood, does it not?
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh,
See, that's wisdom right here. See that? He's giving us game. Because in turn, it's gonna come back around to me. Isn't that how it is? Right? I think there's a term that they call paid forward. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
paid
What it is?
forward.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. That's correct. Pay it forward, yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 25, it reads, "Whatsoever is sold in the shambles that eat, ask no questions for conscience sake."
Right. This is where me and the brothers get into this big old argument right here. We know that the shambles is a marketplace, right? It's a marketplace.
Mhm.
Anybody can fact check me, look it up.
Mhm.
So whatever is sold in the marketplace, right, says that eat, right, asking no questions for conscience sake. So he's saying, listen, Paul is saying you go to the meat market, you can eat.
Oh, you can eat anything you want,
Don't
pretty
ask
much.
no question.
Right.
Brother says it right here. He tripping. He said
That's
it right
crazy.
here. He said, don't ask no question. Just whatever is in the marketplace, just grab it and eat.
Just grab it and eat it. Yeah.
Grab it and eat it. Don't ask no questions neither.
That's crazy, bro.
Don't ask is that pork? Is that, is that pork, brother? Is that,
Right. You don't need to ask, everything is good.
Just go. Just go with it.
Go, huh?
Just go with it, bro.
That's
For conscience sake, right here. That's the brother right there. That's the word that's tripping you up. For conscience sake.
Mm-hmm.
Conscience is knowing.
Mm.
I said he asking no questions because he know what it is already, right? Does that make sense? Wait a minute. If I don't know what it is, would I not ask a question? Logically, that makes sense, right? Now,
Yeah, you
if
did that,
I
yeah,
know
definitely.
what it is,
Mhm.
I ain't gonna ask no question because I already know what it is.
Mm.
I'm telling him, I said, the conscience sake is the knowledge. I said, you can look it up. It speaks of having knowledge.
Mm.
Whatever is sold in the marketplace, that eat, asking no question, because you know what it is already.
Mhm.
Mm.
This verse make no sense at all if you're gonna go into a marketplace and eat anything, asking no questions at all.
Right.
Who do that?
Nobody does that.
No one.
Nobody does that.
I'm not eating no tarantula. I ain't eating nothing
Dog meat. Because you want what you out the order.
Yeah. You see, people usually go to marketplace because they want something specific,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But they come across something that they see, it look like they will ask, hey, what's that? What is that? What's this? They're asking questions.
Mhm.
Right.
Don't just go grab it and just put it in the bag and just weigh in the scale and just go. That's ridiculous, bro.
And you asking how much it is.
Yeah. All of
Right.
that. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 26. It reads, "For the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof."
You see, brother, there it is right there, brother. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, brother. You talking about? You ain't gotta ask no question. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything else. What you talking about, bro?
God made everything.
God
so
made
it's
everything.
good.
You talking about? It says it right there in the verse, brother. And the fullness thereof, brother. You talking about? You can eat anything. You know what I'm
That's crazy, man.
That's around. Get sick.
Man, these dudes are slick, huh?
saying? Slick, very slick. You gotta watch him. Slick.
Wow.
Yeah. I agree. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness
Yeah,
thereof.
I do too.
That's why he tell us what not to eat at the same time.
Mhm.
Right.
If what you saying is true, there should be no dietary laws, right or wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to say. Yeah, definitely.
But there should be none, but there is.
And he know what we shouldn't eat.
Right. it's crazy for him to say that, and it's a dietary law. Then God say, I change not. So I mean, how you verse that right there, bro? Go ahead.
Verse 27. If any of them that believe not bid you to eat a feast.
Let's go slow. Let's go slow. So if any of them that believe, they do not believe, don't believe, bid you, yo, come to this feast right here. Talking about non-believers calling you to a feast. We clear, right? Go ahead.
And ye be disposed to go.
And you have time, right? It just opened up. You have time to go do it. Go ahead.
Whatsoever is set before you.
Whatever is set before you. Whatever. Doesn't matter, brother. Whatever is set before you. Go ahead. Eat, brother. Go ahead.
Ask no questions for conscience sake.
So why are you asking a question, brother? Eat. Ask no questions at all.
Man.
I said they go to conscience again. You keep missing this. Conscience again. You asking no question because you know what's being said before you, right? So a non-believer invites you to their house, and they throw something in front of you that you don't know what it looks like.
Right.
It don't look like nothing that you know of.
Right.
Look like no chicken. Look like no steak. You don't know what this thing look like.
So something strange.
Something strange. You know.
Right. Okay.
You don't know what kind of animal is that. You don't know what that look like. You know what I'm saying? You got 4 horns coming over here, 5 legs over there. You ain't gonna ask questions about what is that? You're gonna just eat it?
I am. I'll tell you that much.
Found the answer.
Hey, I'm trying to. They ain't trying to make Paul say something crazy. I'm like, Paul can't be saying that, bro. This is an educated brother. Paul is an educated man. He's right. He's educated. He's not no dumb person. He's educated.
Conscience sake.
Yeah.
With a good understanding.
With a good understanding. Talk about Christ himself. How you gonna say stuff like that and just go there and just eat anything put in front of you, but don't ask no question? Come on. I don't see Paul saying nothing like that. That don't make no sense whatsoever. Listen, I don't know no one that tells anyone that. Who tells anyone, listen, just go over there and just who does that? Who said that?
I mean, I would say this. I would say a parent tells a child that.
Huh?
What is he saying right there?
A parent and a child to do what?
It's like, look, just eat the food. Don't ask no questions. Just behave. I can see a parent saying that to a child, like.
Something they made for their own child.
That's bad parenting. That's bad parenting. What that is.
We got a lot of
that. I never tell my child to go eat anything over there. You're crazy. You don't know what if you don't know what that is, don't eat it. That's my first I'm gonna tell him.
You'd be saying
That's bad parenting.
You know what I mean? Like mama, like, boy, don't ask no questions, eat that, but it's at her dinner table under her house.
Right. But he's a stranger. You know what I mean? First of all, they're non-believers. Flash go right up. Bling, non-believers. Bling, bling, bling. Next question.
Yep. The abominable foods right here.
All right, T Miles is asking a question. Go ahead, T Miles.
Is he saying like you going to a Thanksgiving feast and whatever they put in front of you, you can eat it?
If you go to a Thanksgiving feast, whatever they put in front of you, you can eat it. No. If you go to a Thanksgiving feast, and you have time to go, as it says, what they put before you, you asking no question because you know what's in front of you. The conscious part is knowledge of. You have knowledge of. That's the reason why you're asking no questions.
Because you already know what it is.
Because you know what it is. Yeah. That's what it is.
I think it's talking about the idols. The idol though.
No, this going back to just eating, right? He's not mentioning the idol of this one, right? You're talking. He about to bring it up now, but in these verses here, talking about what is put in front of you as far as just eating it, and you're not asking questions because of conscience, because you know what's in front of you.
Right. Let's go to verse 28.
Verse 28.
Verse 28, okay, verse 28 says, but if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols.
Let's go
Eat
slow,
not
slow,
for-
slow. Wait, hold it.
It's the same feast. Remember, this the same feast.
It's the same feast. So now, listen.
Okay.
If someone listen, you there in the feast, right? He put something in front of you. You know what that is, right? Let's say he put in front of you. Let's say it's lamb or goat.
Okay.
You know what lamb or goat is, right? You know, according to dietary laws, I can eat that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you ask more questions because I know what that is, right? The next verse says, but you know what it is, right? Yep. But if any man say unto you, listen, this lamb or this goat is sacrificed unto idols. Now he's giving you additional information and say, yeah, it's lawful for you to eat, but we're sacrificing it unto our idol now.
Okay.
He's listen, you didn't know that. He's now letting you know that.
Right.
But if any man say unto you, listen, this is sacrificed unto an idol. Go ahead.
Eat not for his sake that showed it.
Eat not for the sake of the person that told you. For the person that told you that information, don't eat that. Even though it's lawful for you to eat it because it's lamb or goat.
Right.
All the what it's sacrificing to an idol, it says not eat it.
Right.
Wow.
Not eat it.
Right.
Go ahead. I'll quote you right now.
And for conscience sake.
For what?
For conscience sake.
For conscience again, because he gave you additional information. Edify you, your conscience. He gave you additional information. You know better now because he told you additional information about a lawful meat that sacrificed to idols. Two reasons you're not eating it. You're eating because the person that showed you, and because your conscience is more edified. You have more information about it now.
So is he saying that you can eat it long as they don't tell you that it's sacrificed to idols?
Yes, if it's a lawful animal, but you don't know that part, yes.
That's where you pray over your food.
No. It's lawful for you to eat this animal,
Okay.
but you do not know it's sacrificed on the idol.
Got it.
You can eat it, right? Because you don't know sacrifice unto an idol.
Right.
You didn't know that, right? Remember, it all goes back to you having information, right? It isn't where it in this country where you don't know, they penalize you.
Right.
The most I move like that, the most I say I'm gonna penalize you because you know better.
Right.
But I can't penalize you if you didn't know, right?
Right.
Paul said, where there's no law, there's no transgression.
Right.
You didn't know. I didn't know it offered to an idol. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ate it. You're good.
Right.
But if you know and you eat it, you know you're bad. Right?
Because you're referencing another god or a deity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tony.
And when we go into most people's houses or just whatever we eating the food, we always ask, what is this? Or even they volunteer the information before, even if it's mom, like, mom, you know what I'm cooking some collard greens, some steak, some chicken, and she normally gonna mention what's this.
I think it a step further, Tony. There have been cases where people have went into a house, someone that they even know, right? And they saw food, they looked at certain, they thought it was this, they ate it. Later when the person tells them, you know what you ate? It's, oh man, that was some good chicken or whatever. They said, what chicken that you ate?
That was pulled.
That was you. Then they tell you like, what man? I can't eat that. Are you at fault because you didn't know what you thought it was something else? No, you didn't know. They told you after you ate it though. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Salaka, hey, Izar, that reminds me of that time. Remember last time me and you went over to Yolanda's in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she gave me some of that meat, he was like, wait a minute. He was like, this is pork. He was like, wait, what is this? Like, that was great.
Slipping the meat, you know.
Yeah, so you've been eating things that they found out later on was something different. You know what I'm saying? Because they look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So again, it all goes back to you having knowledge of it. And then now now you're going ahead, going against your knowledge. You know better. You're going against it. That's where you become liable. You become at fault. You're not at fault when you don't know, right?
That's why we normally ask even what kind of fish is this.
If you
We
don't know
we
what
don't
it
want
is,
no
yeah,
catfish.
right.
Mhm.
Salmon, red snapper.
Go ahead, brother. Finish that off.
Okay, this is Ephraim. Okay, it's for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
For the earth is the Lord again, and the fullness thereof, right? Again, so it all goes back to everything that the Lord made, and He owns everything. As it's all going back to giving you information how all this things fit in the creation, because they are foods, they're animals, they are made for cleaning, keeping the earth clean, right? There are certain trees you're supposed to cut down. There's certain trees you're not supposed to cut down, right? You probably don't know what that is. That's what the knowledge of. So
Right.
you cut down a tree you're supposed to cut down, you don't know. Then like, oh man, I didn't know. They give you a path. But when you do know, it's something different. You know what I'm saying? So it all goes back down to having information that you're held liable.
That's what it sounds like.
That's I'm giving ultimately how you get judged by the Most High in Christ is because you know something and you're not doing it.
Right.
That becomes the bottom line to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where Gorilla's going wrong. He can't sit up here and tell me he don't know that it's wrong to go to a strip club right after street teaching. Can't sit up here and tell me that, bro. How's that right? You a chief priest, it's unclean in there. Is it clean in there?
Unclean.
No.
The money even dirty up in
You can't sit up there and tell me he didn't even say, listen, after I street teach, I go to the house, shower up, change my garments, put on some other clothes, and then go in. He said, nope. Right from the zone, right into the strip club. I'm like, oh, that's bad.
Wow.
Bad.
That's crazy.
Bad.
Point A is B.
Huh?
Point A is B.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead, brother.
Verse 29?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it reads, conscience say, I say, that not thy own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience?
Yeah, conscience, right? Conscience, he's saying now. I say, not your conscience, not your mind, right?
Yeah,
Of the other.
the other man.
The other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? Because he view you as knowing better. It's a question. He's letting you know, listen, another person is judging you. You ask, well, why is he judging me? Because it's a question. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? Question. So that means it is happening. So you're asking the question, well, why is he judging me? Why, listen, why would anyone judge another person?
Because they know you can do better.
Because they know you're doing something you know is wrong. Right or wrong? I can't judge you if you don't know you're doing is wrong.
Right.
Right.
You know, then now.
Right.
Right or wrong?
That's the hardship.
Right.
That's why they judge you, because they know you know better.
Now I know you know better than that.
It all zeroes back into having knowledge. All going back. I'm gonna leave it there. Any questions on that before we go? Yeah, Tony.
When Hamashiach Yahweh Shai said, "Forget them, for they not know," would they be the people that prosecute them? Would they be charged more than from other people they stoned, or would it still be on the same level because they didn't know?
What you mean, the people that what?
Like when Hamashiach Yahweh Shai was like, "Forget them, for they not know what they do."
Yes.
And then for some of the other people they stone, would it be on the same level of of stoniness, or would they be punished more for killing Hamashiach Yahweh Shah? I know he was innocent blood they shed, but like for them not knowing, saying that part of them not knowing of what they were doing, counting or
So when he say for the know not what they're doing, they really don't fully understand the scope of what they're doing, is what he's saying. They don't fully grasp what they're doing right now, right? They know that they're turning over a man to be put to death. They do know that, right?
Mm.
Right? But they're they're putting a man over to death because of the leader that's pushing them to. The text said that the Pharisees urging the people on
Mm.
said we want Barabbas and crucify Christ, crucify Christ. So the religious leaders are pushing the people to say that, right? They're pushing them to say that. They don't really understand why they're saying crucify Christ and give us Barabbas, but the religious leaders that they hold to esteem is pushing them to say this.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? That's why Christ is saying, when he's saying forgive them, who is he really targeting? The naive ones.
the naive,
Because you know that
not
the leaders, they know better.
Right.
They know better, but the one that's pushing it that don't know any better, them.
So he's not saying forgive the Sadducees and Pharisees along with
They
them.
forgive them,
Them, okay.
not all of them.
Come.
Them is a group of people.
Right, right,
For them, know what they're doing.
right.
They don't understand why are you asking for a murderer versus a man that you know isn't? They don't know Christ to be a murderer. He knew to heal the sick, raise the dead. That's where they know him from, right? Barabbas is a known murderer. Why are you pushing for murderer? You don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're saying.
Yes.
Forgive them for they know not what they're doing. They don't want, them leaders do.
They just going with the flow of the
They
leaders.
just, there you go. Look, many people don't like that. Many people jump on stuff and don't fully understand what they're doing or really what they're saying. Because of the higher ups are saying this and that, and they're running with it. Because of their reverence for the higher ups.
That's why so many wars.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't even know where the war started, but they.
Right, the
take
people in the
racist
army
people.
going to war not knowing that it's some personal beef between the people in the higher ups. You know what I'm saying? The president, they get into an argument in the back. All like what you said, but my army come shoot you, but get your army there. You up there in a war because of some ridiculous argument that they had in a meeting in the office somewhere. Or with some ridiculous foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it mainly is.
Many have died because of other people's ridiculous arguments and something foolish. You know what I'm saying? In the back. Others have died because we're fighting over a woman, fighting over a territory, fighting over some money. It's all kind of stuff. People go to war for all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even I think that movie Troy. Anyone seen Troy?
Yeah.
You know what it was fighting over?
A woman.
A woman. How many died behind that?
Oh my God.
That's what I'm trying to say. That literally happened. That's actual history. That literally happened. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. No one say, nah, bro. We fighting over what? Nah, I'm cool. I'm staying home, bro. Not doing it.
Yeah.
But that's how that's why it's best to get into the army of the Most High in Christ. We ain't fighting for nothing trivial. Like we waiting for some real reason to get busy. You know what I'm saying? The correct reason to get busy. All right. Any other questions before we start? Any other questions before we get it? All right, let's get it. Acts chapter 13, starting at verse 16. Acts, the 13th chapter. Look at verse 16. So today we're dealing with the school of the prophets, or in the company of prophets, right? The school of the prophets or the company of the prophets. All right, who got that?
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Acts chapter 13, starting at verse 16. Then Paul stood up and
Beckoning.
beckoning with his hand, said, Men of Israel, and ye that God give audience.
Ye that fear God.
Ye that fear God, give audience.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. The God of this people of Israel chose our fathers and exalted the people when they dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt, and with an high arm brought he them out of it.
Right. Again, so clearly right here again, right? There, people have to make an argument that the people that fear God are not Israelites, right? So he said, men of Israel, and ye that fear God give audience, right? But then verse 17 just kills them again because it says, the God of this people of Israel. He clearly would separate if God fears, if they're not Israelite, then he wouldn't even be speaking to them then. You know what I'm saying? And he goes into their history, right? Chose their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, exalted the people when they was dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt, and with a high hand brought them out, right? Speaking of their history. Go ahead.
18. And out the time of 40 years suffered he their manner in the wilderness.
We know what that's about, right? Very rebellious, 40 years in the wilderness. The Most High suffered their manners in the wilderness. Very disrespectful, I would say. Our forefathers were very disrespectful to the Most High in the wilderness. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And when he had destroyed 7 nations in the land of Canaan, he divided their land to them by lot.
Go ahead.
And after that he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years until Samuel the prophet.
Right. So we see that the judges, length of the judges, right, is 450 years, according to Paul, right? That's how long the length of judges are. 450 years. Right? Yes, sir.
Is this the same like Abraham nephew?
Where you said where? What verse you talking about?
Where it said he divided their land to them by lot.
Oh, inheritance.
The inheritance.
Yeah, not the person lot, but inheritance.
Con.
He divided the land to the Israelites, but for the inheritance.
Yeah, lot.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, con. Right. And after that, he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years, until Samuel the prophet. This is where we're going to stop right there. We're going to come until Samuel the prophet, because this is where the school of the prophets comes in, according to the text. All right. From there, let's get Acts chapter 3, verse 24 to 26. Acts chapter 3, verse 24. Acts chapter 3, 24.
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead.
Acts chapter 3, verse 24 reads, Yea, and all the prophets from Samuel and all those that followed after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days.
Right? So yeah, it says, and all the prophets. Where does he start?
Samuel.
From Samuel is our beginning point, right? And those that follow after him, right? As many as have spoken have likewise foretold of the days in the first century, right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. Ye are the children of the prophets.
Stop right there. Very important. You are the children of the prophets. You are the descendants of the prophets, right? Talking about the prophets of God. He's saying that you are their descendants. You're the descendants of the prophets, right? So if the people he's speaking to are the descendants of the prophets, you would also have descendants of the other Israelites who are not prophets, right? the evil one, right?
Oh,
Right? That's why Christ told the Pharisees, you are the descendants of the one that killed the prophets. That's what he told them, right? You have the descendants of the prophets here, and those that killed the prophets. Their descendants are the what? The Pharisees and the Sadducees, where Christ told them, you are the descendants of the one that killed the prophets. That's why Christ told them. And then you're the descendants of the prophets here that was killed.
so what time do Samuel time start? Like around Moses or
No, way after Moses.
way after Moses?
Yeah, way after Moses. Like we just read just now was a 450-year gap in the judges, right? So you have at least 500 years gap. There's like a 500-year gap between both of them.
So he was before Hamashiach Yahweh Shiloh.
Who?
Samuel.
Way before.
It's like Tony. So Samuel's time is like just before Saul, King Saul, right?
Same time.
Around David.
Yeah, same time. Same like that time frame. So that's the time frame that Samuel is.
Yeah, about a thousand BC. About 1,000 BC, right? So 1,000 years before Christ. You know what we're saying there. 1,000 years, right? So we have the children of the prophets. Again, which is crazy that Christ knew who the descendants were that killed the prophets, and he also taught them through the Spirit who the descendants of the prophets who were killed as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, brother. Who was reading?
Oh, I was. Yeah, so in verse 25, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, come on. It reads, ye are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which God made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindred of the earth be blessed.
Right, and in that kindred, all the seed, in your family shall of the seed of the earth be. You can get it. Right, and in that kindred, the word kindred there is partia, which is a clan. It's speaking of a clan that descends from one person, right? That's the word kindred. It's a clan that descends from one descendant, right? But he's the father. One father descends from. You have a clan that descends from this one man, right?
Like Esau.
Esau,
Jacob.
Abraham, yeah, right. So it's speaking of that. It's a clan that descends from one person, right? And in thy seed shall all the clan that descends from one person of the earth be blessed. This is what it is actually really saying. Not everybody, but everybody isn't blessed, right? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody is everybody blessed in Abraham's seed?
No.
Because Esau comes to that line, does he not? Is he blessed?
With the
Texas,
inherit
he's
of the
cursed.
land, but not here.
No, in Texas, he's cursed, right?
Come birth.
So again, so that wouldn't make sense there again. All right, go ahead.
Verse 26. It reads, unto you, first God, having raised up his son Jesus, sent him to bless you, and turning away every one of you from his iniquities.
Right. So he's first sending them to the children of the prophets, right? Because Christ said, I come as a physician for those that are sick, right? He said, I ain't come to you for you Pharisees, you leaders. I come for you guys. Because you guys said that you guys don't need a physician, right? But the Lord people say they sick, you need a physician. So I come for the Lord people, I come for the physician. You know what I'm saying? So they claim they know it. That we see, we don't need that. We don't need a savior. You talking about? So he came for them, having raised his son. I've raised up his son, send him to bless you, in turning away every one of us from our iniquity. Right, starting off the children of the prophet. All right, from there, 1 Samuel chapter 19.
starting at verse 19. First Samuel chapter 19, starting at verse 19.
I'll take it when everybody get there.
Go ahead.
First Samuel chapter 19, starting at verse 19. And it was told Saul, saying, Behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah.
So Saul looking for David, and he was told, hey man, he's at Naoth in Ramah. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And Saul sent messenger to take David, and when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of the Most High was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied.
Right. So when they sent the messengers to go take David, right? And when they saw what? A company of prophets,
Come,
right?
come,
This is the school of the prophets,
come.
right? They were prophesying. It says, and Samuel standing as appointed over them. So Samuel is the head of the school of the prophets.
Come,
He's the head of the prophets. He's appointed over them, right?
come.
So we have established back then that there was a school of prophets, and they were prophesying. It says right here. It says the Spirit of the Most High was upon the messengers of Saul. So when they came to go take David amongst the company of prophets where Saul was, the Spirit fell upon them, and they started prophesying.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Verse 21. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise.
Some other ones came and said them to them as well. Go ahead.
And Saul sent messengers again a third time, and they prophesied also.
My goodness, it's time for you to stop sending people, bro.
He got
It ain't working,
Hmm.
right? They come in and go take David, and they start prophesying. They looking to come join the school of the prophets. Come to join the school of the prophets. All right, go ahead.
Verse 23. Then went he also to Ramah and came to a great well that is in Seku.
Go ahead.
And he asked and said, Where are Samuel and David?
So we came to Ramah. There's a great well there. So now he's asking, hey, where is Samuel and David? Go ahead.
And no one said,
And one.
and one said, Behold, they be at Naioth in
Ramah.
Ramah.
Go ahead.
And he went thither, and Naioth in Ramah, and the Spirit of the Most High was upon him also, and he went on and prophesied until he came to Naioth in
Naioth and Ramah. So when he's going to go try to find Samuel and David, and he came up to Naioth and Ramah, the Spirit of God jumped upon him, right? And as he was going on, it said he prophesied all the way till he came to Naioth and Ramah, right? Go ahead.
Verse 24. And he stripped off his clothes also.
Let's go slow, because the man didn't get naked, because he gets up getting crazy. The man took off his outer garment. Go ahead.
And prophesied before Samuel in like manner.
We got to get it clear when people try to say that Saul was naked or something in front of Samuel. What's a ridiculous foolishness? Go ahead.
And lay down naked all that day and all that night.
Brother, see right there, brother?
Mhm.
It says it right there, brother. He was naked all day and all night. See what I'm saying? Right there, Ak. He laid down naked all that day and all that night. Brother, what are you talking about, man? You ain't trying to say what the Bible is saying, brother. You ain't keeping it real. You ain't keeping it 100.
Go ahead.
You gotta stick with what the text say, brother.
That's what the text say. You deviating. You eisegesis in the text right there, brother. Go ahead.
Wherefore they say, I saw,
Is.
wherefore I say, is Saul also among the prophets?
When I say is Saul also among the prophets, because he's prophesying like that. Is he also among the prophets? Maybe if he prophesying, the spirit of the Lord is on him, right? Now let's jump up.
Wait, hold on a second. So what is the scripture saying if it's not saying what we were just saying? What is it actually really saying?
About what?
About the clothes and all that, nakedness.
Oh, I say they have two outer garments and they took off. But you want a scripture that says that they're naked with clothes on? Is that what you're saying?
I would like, definitely, yeah. Yeah, because I didn't yeah, because I mean, I never thought of it like that, but I mean, I probably read up in this verse before, but yeah, but I mean, actually, I do have a question for this, like, yeah. So.
He took off his outer clothes.
You're doing outer clothes, right? Okay.
Same way certain people might be like naked, but they're not necessarily talking about clothes wise.
You're talking about like their priestly garments or something like that, right? Or something like that, right? Huh? It's about their garments that they're wearing, like a priestly garment, right? Is that what you're talking about, or no?
No, but they usually have two garments on. So they usually have on and they take off the top garment.
Okay.
They take off the top garment.
Okay.
That way a person's like.
Let's get First Samuel was says 18:4.
Well, I got that. 18 or 8?
18? Chapter 18?
You put 18 on the screen. That's all I'm asking.
I did what?
You have 18 on the screen, but I heard you say 8. So is it 18 or 8?
18.
Oh, 18. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'm there. Whenever everybody's ready, let me know. I can start.
Verse 4, go ahead.
Okay, reading from the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 4, and it reads, And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle.
Right? So we see here, Jonathan stripped himself off because he had a robe on.
Right, okay.
Right? He had a robe on that was upon him, and he gave that to David, right?
Right.
And his garment, right? He goes on to say, he says, even his sword,
yes,
and his bow,
right,
and his girdle.
Mm-hmm.
He gave that, all of that stuff off.
Right.
So I'm going here to show you that they have multiple stuff on. They have an outer garment.
Okay.
And then then it says he gave that to David. It says, and his garments. He had other garments on.
Okay. Okay.
So Israelites wear more than one garment. So when he said he took off his clothes, he took off the outer garment.
Army garment. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, again, Tony, want to say something?
Oh, and when he's saying like his sword and his bow, like that's what make them naked, like protection.
But when you have your sword and your bow on, those are not on your skin. Right or wrong?
No.
You have a garment on over
over that.
That goes over that.
Right?
Then after that, you have another robe over that. Right. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
It's like you got your protection on, you're like, oh man, I'm naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, figure of speech.
Yeah, figure of speech. Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of the Lord of a man prophesying, I'm sure ain't nobody prophesying in front of another.
Right, yeah, definitely. That would make no
all day and all night.
I didn't do that.
I can go to the verses where God is adamant about you covering up your nakedness. He do not want to see it. He don't want to see it. He tells Israel. He says, do not go up our stairs to my temple. Do not do that. Why? Cause you might trip on the stairs and fall.
Mm.
You gotta get a smooth ramp to go straight up. You can walk straight up. Stairs. That's Torah, right? Don't go up by stairs. Matter of fact, I need to pull the verse where they said I'm making stuff up. You just made it up just now. I sound good.
It's like that light bulb thing they had in cartoons.
You want the stairs or the window?
Yeah.
Stairs. You get an option of taking the elevator, just stay at the window.
Yeah, it's that. Hey, I'm saying you got to clarify these things because there's people out here they're gonna try to say that this Bible is saying something that it ain't saying. They think it's some kind of or condoning. And I showed y'all the last they had a they had a gay Bible. And I showed it to Alan Nathaniel. I showed Alan Nathaniel. Gay with trying to condone homosexuality in the text. And clearly, the Most High don't do nothing with that. You have a law against that. Exodus chapter 20, verse 26. Let me get it right quick, and we're gonna come back. Exodus chapter 20, verse 26. Pull this up right. All right, who got that?
This Exodus chapter 20.
Verse 26.
Oh, come. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 20, read that verse 26. Neither shall thou go up by steps unto my altar,
See that? You can't go up by steps into the Most High's altar. Go ahead.
that they naked,
That die.
that thy nakedness by not discovering,
Be not.
be not discovered there.
Be not discovered thereon. See that? That's how detailed the Most High is getting. He don't want to see your nakedness. Don't go up by no stairs of my altar, bro. You need a ramp straight up. Don't go up by no steps here. Specifically because he ain't trying to see your nakedness. So why would he allow his spirit to come upon naked men prophesying all night and all day? Let's be clear.
Wow.
Both.
Come.
Make no difference, right? All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Psalms chapter first Samuel chapter 10, starting at verse 1. 1 Samuel chapter 10. Starting at verse. We're gonna go one, probably gonna skip around here. 1 to 4. No, we're gonna go all the way down. 1 to 10. Go ahead, 1 to 10. We're gonna go 1 to 4. We're gonna go somewhere else, and we're gonna come back. First Samuel chapter 10, starting at verse 1. Go ahead.
1 Samuel chapter 10 from the top. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, "It is not because the Lord hath anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance."
Right, so we're talking about, so this is where Saul anoints Saul to be king, right? Captain there, the word there, captain, is incorrectly translated, it's king. Be king. Go ahead.
Verse 2. When thou art departed from me today, then thou shalt find 2 men by Rachel, sepulchre in the border of Benjamin at Zelzah, and they will say unto thee, the ashes which thou wentest to seek are found, and lo, thy father hath left the care of the ashes and sorrow for you, saying, what shall I do for my son?
Right, so he's looking for the asses. He went down to go seek some asses. They're gonna say, look, those things are found, right? They got those. It says, and lo, thy father had left the care of the asses and sorrow for you. So now he was going after the asses for his father, and he said, listen, your father didn't care about the animals no more. He worried about you now. You know what I'm saying? He says, what shall I do for my son? So his father, you see your father saying, what shall I do for my son? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then shalt thou go on forward from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor,
Uh-huh.
and there shall meet thee 3 men going up to God to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine.
So he's telling them where he's gonna meet before he get to this place. Right? So you're gonna meet 3 men going down here. Going to Bethel. Right? One's carrying 3 kids, another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. Right? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And they will salute thee and give thee 2 loaves of bread, and thou shalt which thou shalt receive of their hands.
Yeah, they're gonna give you 2 loaves, right? Bread. Don't take that. Take that 2 loaves in your hand, right? Now this sounds very familiar with what Hamashiach told his disciples about when he meet the Passover. He says, go over here, you're gonna meet this guy, you know what I'm saying? But let's read it. The reason why I'm doing this is to show you that Samuel is a prophet. The Most High tell Saul what you're gonna meet before you get there, what's gonna happen. So it looks like you have these men that he's talking about him meeting, they sound like they other prophets. That's carrying, right? 3 kids, one is carrying 3 loaves, and another one is carrying a bottle of wine, right? Other men. So Samuel have knowledge of this before he get there. This is who you're gonna meet, and he also says, right? They're gonna salute you, right? So you should respect, right? Why would they salute him?
They know your prophet.
Because they know who he is, right? He just anointed him king. Just now, we just read in verse 1, right? He anointed him king, right? Just anointed him king. These men make sense that they're prophets because the Spirit let them know, listen, it's the king. King. Right? They're going to salute you. You're the king, right? And they're going to give you 2 loaves of bread, right? Take that in your hand, right? These are prophets. This is very similar to what, that's why when I read it in the gospel and Christ is telling the disciples, I'm like, these are other men that Christ knows. It seems that there is like another school of the prophets in the New Testament. It's behind the scenes, but there is certain verses scripturally there that's kind of like, yeah, these people are here. I'm gonna read a couple. I think there is also, and I think Hamashiach was over this school. They don't say too much about it. If not him, John the Baptist was. Because we see right here in the Old Testament. Listen, and they're saying similar things. You know what I'm saying?
So like the body of Christ, bread
Like
and
the
wine.
body of Christ, right?
And they give it the king bread and wine.
Right, because you have section, you got the school of the prophets, you know what I'm saying? The children of the prophets and all of those. So they, right? And this is the same thing that Paul brings up when he's speaking to Elijah. Elijah said, listen, God, they have killed your prophets, and I'm the only one that's left. And God said, I reserved to my men 70 men that have not bowed a knee down the ball. Right? Prophets again.
Right.
Remnant of men of service. So we always have these different things. All right, can we get the book of Mark, chapter 14, verse 13 through 16?
I'm gonna stay here, I'm clicking on another thing. Mark. Chapter 13, wait, Mark chapter 14, excuse me, Mark chapter 14.
14 or 13? Oh, we got 14.
14. Mark chapter 14, verse 13 through 16.
Okay, I got that.
All right, go ahead.
Reading for the book of Mark, chapter 14, starting at verse 13, it reads, And he sendeth forth 2 of his disciples, and saith unto them, Go ye into the city,
Go into the
and,
city. Go ahead.
and there shall meet you a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him.
Yeah, see that? Go into the city. You're gonna meet a man carrying a pitcher of water, right? And follow him,
Mhm.
right? Clearly. Now we know again. See, these things are statements made, and if you don't have the background of the first century, what it's saying goes right over your head. You know what I'm saying? The only people that are going to be carrying a pitcher of water at this time would be Essenes. This is the history. He says, follow this man. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 14. And whosoever he shall go in, say ye to the good man of the house, the master saith, Where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
Now, how does Christ know this man? And this man, listen, and he said, tell the good man that the master, who would that be? He's the head of this man that's carrying a pitcher. Your Bible. Aquarius, yeah, that dude's right. That's Aquarius. No, that's not Aquarius.
First thing, you know, the 4 gospels, and the 4 seasons, and the 12 apostles are the zodiac signs and similarity.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing about that. He said that there's only one gospel. There's one gospel. It's 5 accounts of the one gospel. Is there 4 gospels?
No, it's 4 accounts.
There's 4 accounts of one gospel. Right? So we correcting the 4 gospel thing. It isn't 4 gospels. Right? It's 4 accounts of one gospel. Oh, 5 accounts of one gospel. Let me clear that up. It's 5 gospels. It's 5 accounts of one gospel. There is 5 gospels. If we have 4 gospels, then we go up into what Paul. That's another gospel.
Yes, the gospel, right? Come on. Mm-hmm.
Right? We only have one gospel.
Right.
It's 4. Yeah, it's 4 accounts of. It's 5 accounts. Keep saying 4. 5 accounts of one gospel.
Right. Come on.
So again, this he said, you'll see this man carrying a pitcher of water. He says, and wheresoever this man going, say to the good man of the house, the master saith, where is the guest chamber where I shall eat Passover? Again, so this we don't know who this man is. But obviously this man know who Christ is.
Yeah, he obviously do know.
Right? He recognized when he said, listen, say the master. When this man hears the master, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he had a chamber ready. So where's the chamber? Right, this man's supposed to be preparing a chamber for Christ to come and eat with the disciples, right?
Yeah.
Who is this person? That's what I'm saying. There's stuff happening behind the scenes that we don't know.
Yes.
The verse right here that tells you clearly there's other men that Christ was dealing with other than the 12.
Right. Right. Yeah.
About the time where
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's what makes it.
the 3 wise men came to visit, I believe it was Abraham.
The 3 wise men didn't come visit Abraham.
Was that right?
There was, first of all, he just said wise men, don't say 3. Yeah, that's that Christian numbering that's happening right there. Don't say it's 3 of them.
Oh, what they visit? Was it Lot? Was it?
They visited the Messiah when he was born in the house. Wise men. Get rid of the 3.
The time where was it Lot?
You talking about the 2 angels that came to Lot?
No, it was angels though, and he I think he told the wife to make him bread, He
Unleavened bread.
wash their feet, unleavened bread.
Made on unleavened bread. Yeah, specifically made on unleavened bread. The one was the three angels that came to Abraham talking about then. 3 angels came to Abraham and he told his wife
To
meat,
make bread,
and she made unleavened bread.
unleavened bread.
Yeah. Talking about that.
They
Those are 3 angels.
Always make bread.
Unleavened bread.
Con.
You gotta be specific. It ain't just regular bread, it's unleavened bread. Right? Again,
Passover.
this again, this is not even Passover. But the more I'm reading, I'm understanding that unleavened bread is something you're supposed to eat throughout the year. Stop eating bread with leaven in it. Eat nothing but unleavened bread. Year round. Right? It makes sense. It will make when you get around Passover, it ain't nothing to you because you've been doing it the entire year. Right? Plus it unleavened bread is healthier for you than leavened bread. People don't know that.
And that's throughout most stuff, period, just the lever period.
Yeah, and because of one of these angels, as they say, it's a Christophany, meaning an appearance of Christ. It gives more weight to it because if angels from heaven are coming down here and they're saying, "I want unleavened bread," that tells you what you're supposed to be eating. They know something that you don't know. The reason why they don't want leavened bread, they want unleavened bread to be fed to them.
Next to manna.
I won't say next to manna, but it's giving us an understanding that that's what you should be eating.
Oh yeah.
That they're eating. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 15. And he will show you a large upper room finished and prepared. They make
Furnished and prepared.
furnished and prepared. They make ready for us.
Again, it's just I'm gonna bring some clarity to the word master. That word is used of someone who's a leader of something, right? He's a leader of something. If this man knows Christ as a master, Christ is leading something to do with this man, and it can't be him by himself. There's other men involved and other things that's involved that's going on, right? If they know Christ as the master, right? We're not going into the last dragon, right? But
That was all on my mind. Right? I didn't want to say anything because we off topic.
Hey, I didn't even know that comedian played showing up. That you know the brother that does the Spice commercial with that sister.
That's not him.
Spice commercial.
Yeah.
That's not.
That's shown up.
That's not the.
No, it's not. That's not him.
That's the original shown up.
No.
No. You know how old that movie is? That movie's like 40 years old. That dude be old by now.
But he played showing up, didn't he?
No, he didn't. I mean, he does look like him. I'll give you that, but that's not him.
Okay.
And he did such a good job. People thought he was really showing up.
I think
He does look like him, though. I'll give you that much. He does look like him.
Huh?
He does look similar.
I thought he was showing up. I'm like, you played showing up?
Didn't look like him. I know you know.
He did look like him. Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like him. I agree. He definitely looks like him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about, I forgot, I think Dion Cole, because he played in that Blackish movie show too as well. You're talking about him, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's get one more. Luke chapter 22.
You get down to 16. Did you want me to read 16 or 15 is good?
What I said.
You said down to 16, so I don't know if you want me to read that one or not.
What did you read? The 6?
The last one read 15, verse 15.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, read verse 16. It says, and his disciples went forth and came into the city and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover.
Right, so that's important. They found exactly as he said it, right? So he to the spirit, he's to the future of meeting the man and all that other stuff. The same thing we just read about Samuel, and they found it exactly as he said it was, right?
We finished 1 Samuel.
Then we're gonna come back to 1 Samuel. We're gonna come back to 1 Samuel, right? We left up at verse 4. We're gonna come back. Let's get one more in Luke chapter 22, verse 8.
I'm there.
Book of Luke chapter 22. starting at verse 8. I'm gonna read down to verse, I think verse 13. All right, go ahead, brother.
Luke chapter 22, starting at verse 8. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover, that we may eat.
So now we know the names of the two disciples that he sent. It was Peter and John, right? Mark don't tell us, we don't know. Luke does. That's why you need all of the four accounts of the gospel to get the entire picture, right? Now we got names to who was sent. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And they did unto him,
And they said,
unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare?
go ahead.
And he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth in.
Go ahead.
And ye shall say unto the good man of the house, The master saith unto thee, Where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?
So now it calls it here a guest chamber. Right? This is the house and it has a guest chamber for people. Right?
Mhm.
This is what people do today with these buildings. They have certain places that they rent out. You know what I'm saying? Where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples. All right, go ahead.
Verse 12. And he shall shew you a large upper room furnished there, make ready.
Right, he's gonna show you a large upper room. The large upper room, listen, it's furnished already. You ain't gotta do nothing. Everything is there, right? There, make ready. Right, so this is probably the upper room that what they talked about in Acts chapter 1, where it was up meeting and everything was going on and was talking. Right, go ahead.
Verse 13. And they went and found as he had said unto them, that they made ready the Passover.
Right, just as he found it. Right, let's go back now to 1 Samuel chapter 10, and we now at verse 5. 1 Samuel chapter 10 and verse 5. So I'm just going to show you that Samuel was the leader of the school of the prophets. You know, Christ was some kind of leader, been a man called, I recognize him as a master. He's head of something back then that the apostles didn't know who this man was. You know what I'm saying? You gonna meet a man and just tell him the master had me there. That's not that way, man. Who is this dude right here, bro? All right, who got that in 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 5?
I want it.
Go ahead.
First Samuel chapter 10, read down verse 5. After that thou shalt come to the hill to God, where
Of God.
where is the garrison of the Philistines, and it shall come to pass when thou art come thither to the city that thou shalt meet a company of prophets coming down from the high place with a psaltery and a tabret and a pipe and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy.
So you're gonna come to a company of prophets again. These are the people that Samuel is over. But listen, these men are coming with psaltery, tabret, pipes, harps. These men just don't prophesy. These men are musicians. They get the music going as well, right? They're not one dimension. All we do is prophesy. No, we get the music popping too, sir. Don't forget that part. The music popping. And if music is popping, then there's singing popping as well with the music.
So
Psaltery, tabret, pipes, and harp. You got sound like an orchestra or something going on back then.
David rolling in.
Yeah, he got busy. All right, go ahead.
Verse 6. And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man.
And be what?
Turn to another
turn
man.
into another man. So when the spirit of the Lord come upon you, you are then what?
Turned into another
Turn
man.
into another man. Now, if you turn into another man, if you claiming that you're in this truth, you believe in Christ, but you're still talking, walking, and moving like you in the world, you're the same person.
Mm.
You're not another man. You're the same person you was before.
We say reborn.
You were reborn. You're the same person. You putting on an act like you would it. You're the same. Because if you was, then you would be stop doing those things.
Just like a person get baptized, they go in a dry devil and come up a wet devil. It's the same thing.
Isaiah.
That also sounds like too when Hamashiach Yahushai came back and he had the holes in his hands and he's another man now. I know he's the same person, but I'm thinking like it's
No, we can clarify what it means turn to another man is, but
come,
you basically you're not the same. You're not the same person.
come,
Not saying you physically not the same person.
come.
You
You
know what I'm
put off the old
Right,
man.
it's gonna get clear. Yeah, but
Come.
there's supposed to be some change,
Come, come,
right?
come.
A lot.
A lot of change. You still can't be mobbing in the strip club. Come on now, that gotta shut down.
Come,
That's gotta stop.
Come.
All that vulgar talking, that's all gotta stop.
come.
That gotta stop. You know what I'm saying?
The defiled mouth.
Yeah, that's gotta stop, bro. At some point, man, they gotta stop talking like that, bro. I don't care if you whatever it is, you gotta stop talking like that. That's way out the spirit, man.
I don't think they offend the Most High when they doing that, and he clearly is.
That's
not
because they're
like
the same
that.
person they was in the world.
And
Anybody that's changed will know that that's offensive.
inward, ain't they uncleaning themselves? Like,
Definitely.
that's unclean.
That shows uncleanness when you talk like that. Shows
Defiled.
defilement.
Mm.
All right, verse 6. Right with verse 6? No, verse 7. Verse
Shabbat. First Samuel chapter 10, verse 7. And let it be when these signs are come unto thee that thou do as occasion serve thee, and God is with thee.
For God is with you. See that?
Mm.
Now when you change it to this other man, who with you?
The Most High.
Most High with you. See that? Now if you still that other man, he ain't with you, but you that other man. You better become that other man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8. And thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal, and behold, I will come down unto thee to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry till I come to thee and shew thee what thou shalt do.
Right. You're gonna wait 7 days and I'm gonna come down. Right? And I'm gonna come on to you. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And it was so that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, God gave him another heart.
Give him a what?
Another heart.
Another mind. See that? He changed another person, he gave him another mind. He changed his mind, right? Look about what Paul said. Paul said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right? So you become another person because now your mind is changed. Right?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's where the change to take place. Because if the mind don't change, you're still gonna do what you've been doing before in the world. But if your mind has changed, you're gonna operate differently. Because the mind controls the body, right?
Come.
So we gotta change it. So the spirit is about changing the mind. Right?
Hey, so hey, Salakia, just a quick question. It's kind of got me just thinking about something. These school of prophets, I'm just as you're going through it, and as I'm looking at certain things and what they're doing, like, you brought up the whole thing about the bread and wine, and then you're going into certain things here, how they would like sing, they would have singers and all that stuff, like similar to the Levitical priesthood, like how they had singers and all that stuff. So I'm just wondering if these school of prophets were kind of like Melchizedek priests, kind of sort of.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I would say so.
Yeah, and maybe that's why the Messiah knew who that man was, because maybe the Melchizedek order was kind of in a roundabout way always in operation in some kind of way.
Yeah, because it would, and going back to the Dead Sea Scrolls, that's what they believe. They believe that they believe that they were the order of Melchizedek on the earth. The Essenes believe that they were that. Saying they believe they were the true priests. Yeah. Tony,
With this band,
with the what?
with the people that play like the harp and what's that, the shanty?
Yes.
Like, you remember when, David got the bad spirit off, Saul by playing the harp?
Mm-hmm.
This what some of them was doing?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
So,
Mute. Yeah, it kind of it don't line up exactly right, but there's a phrase that says music calm the savage beast. You know what I'm saying? Kind of along those kind of lines with the music. Yeah, go ahead.
in the same way, certain modern day music could be demonic, still carrying on like.
On the left-hand side.
With the wrong message come.
Yeah, the left hand side. Yeah, that
Vibration.
metal, all that. Yeah, that's yeah. We see the prophets were doing metal. Psalmistry, right? So he was turned into a. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
What's sultry?
Huh?
What is sultry?
Psaltry is like sultry music.
Instrumental?
Oh, okay. I thought you said metal.
No, I said no. That demonic is that's metal.
Right. Yeah.
Demonic
Yeah.
stuff.
No,
But the psaltry is not that.
okay.
Certain rap too.
Right. No, but psaltry is something that has harmony with it.
Okay.
Right? Vocal that makes sense, right?
Right.
You know, when you do certain music, you can have the sand move a certain way,
Yeah.
and the sand form of information according to the sound,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Sounds make things form different shapes,
Come.
right?
Come.
That's going to another thing. That goes into another thing where the Most High, when it's spoken into existence, he's speaking things, and his voice has a certain pitch to it. That certain things are just forming and creating by the pitch of his voice. You know what I'm saying? But I'll go over that another time. But yeah, that's some deep stuff. Yes, sir.
It is the same way like a certain love song kind of could put you in a good mood.
Yes.
And certain
Right.
Metal band or certain rap music could kind of
Right.
put you on a
Also,
left
yeah,
field.
when people finna go do something wrong, they put a certain amount of music on, they get them in a certain mind to go do something negative, right? Or even something positive. You're right. People have pre-game rituals, right? They have certain things in their headphone that they play for to get on the court or get on the field. You know what I'm saying? To charge them up. Yeah, music can do that, man. All right. Who's reading First Samuel?
First Samuel chapter 10, still reading that verse 9. And all those signs came to pass that day.
All the signs came to pass that day, right? Same thing we read about in the gospel, right? He said, and all those things happened as Christ told him to, right? I'm mirroring the same thing again, right? We got Samuel over the school of the prophets. We have Christ acknowledged as a master to this man. With some kind of school he's over for the man to be calling him a master. You call him a master because you over a group of men, right? So something that's going on behind the scenes in the gospel there as well, right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. First Samuel chapter 10, read that verse 10. And when they came thither to the hill, behold, a company of prophets met him, and the Spirit of God came upon him, and his prophecy amongst them.
And he prophesied.
Prophesied amongst
and
them.
he prophesied among them, right? Spirit of God came upon. Again, that's why, again, when people are talking about you have the Spirit of God, you can tell because either two things happen, right? They either prophesy or what?
They lying.
Or speak in tongues.
Oh.
Either one of the two or both happen. When someone is saying, "Well, I got the Holy Spirit,"
Those are spiritual gifts.
prove it.
Come.
Because you will either prophesy or speak in tongues or both. It's consistent from Old to the New Testament. Is what happens.
Hey, what if they say they filled with the Holy Spirit?
What if they what?
What if they say they filled with the Holy Spirit?
Well, just ask them. Did you prophesy or speak in tongues? Ask them that.
Okay.
When they came upon you, did you prophesy or speak in tongues? Ask them.
Okay.
And speaking in tongue part still would be understood.
When listen, most likely they're gonna tell you they spoke in tongues. Mark me. What did you say?
If they come with that Hebrew Baba Shaba, you know they're lying.
Mumbo jumbo.
That bumbo jumbo, blah, blah, no, sir.
Hmm.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Now I know you ain't telling the truth no more.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. 1 Samuel chapter 10, reading at verse 11. And it came to pass when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesies amongst the prophets. Then the people said one to another, what is this that is come unto the son of Kish? Is Saul also amongst the prophets?
Yeah, to the people that knew before, like, wait, what? Wait, hold on, bro. What is happening to Saul? Right? What is happening to the son of Kish? Right? His father is Kish. Right? What's happening to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? Is he a prophet also? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. And one of the same place answered and said, but who is their fathers? Therefore
Became.
it became a proverb.
Mm-hmm.
Is Saul also amongst the prophets?
Now, notice verse 12, right? Verse 12 said, and one of the same place answered and said, who is his father? It just mentioned in verse 11 that his father was Kish, right?
Mhm.
He said, what's happened to the son of Kish, right?
Come.
So they know who his father is. His father is Kish, right? But verse 12 said, and one of the same place answered and said, who is his father? Who know what he's asking?
Who is the spiritual father?
Who is his spiritual father? Who is his leader? Right?
Mhm.
So we see right here, according to this verse, the leader of the school is also called what?
Spiritual father.
Father. He's also called Father. The leader of the school is also called Father. Right? So he's saying, who is this leader? Who is their father? Right? The spiritual leader. This is what this verse is trying to get across to us, that the leader of the school is also called a father. Right?
First teacher.
Huh?
First teacher.
Teacher, right? Or a spiritual leader, right? Well, or a father, or basically a leader and a teacher. Okay? This is what this verse is letting us know. That's why I say, but who is their father? Who is their leader? Because these people, they know Saul when he was younger. Like, you know the prophets? Wait, but who's y'all leader then? They'll use the word leader. They use the word father. That's how they would understand it. That's what a father is. A father is a leader, right? Okay, from there, is that one? Verse 14. Let's get verse 14.
Are we 13?
You know what? Stop right there. Verse 12 is fine. Verse 12 is fine. Right? So Saul got the spirit, so that's speaking up to the father. Right? And that goes back, that goes back to can we get Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6? We're gonna come right back. We get Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given.
We clear? A child is born, listen, and a son is given. Someone gave this son. We know that's the Most High, right? A son is given. Go ahead.
And the government shall be upon his shoulders.
The government is going to be on this son's shoulder. Go ahead.
And his name shall be called Wonderful
His
Counselor.
name shall be, one of his titles is Wonderful. Go ahead.
Counselor. And
Counselor, right? You need counsel, you got to go to him. Counsel, you going to counsel, you go ahead.
the mighty God.
The mighty what?
The mighty
The
God.
mighty God. Go ahead.
The everlasting Father.
The everlasting Father. See, this is where they're trying to say that this son is Christ, but no, but we know a father is speaking of a leader. He's the everlasting leader, right? We saw from Samuel's that the leader is called a father. Because we know the son is not the father, but he's called right here the everlasting father. He's the everlasting what? He's the everlasting leader, everlasting teacher. He's the one, right? He's one that's teaching.
Come to him for counsel.
Who comes in for counsel and teaching, right? And he calls wonderful, the mighty gods, you right?
And he's the teacher of the disciples.
Right.
And the apostles.
Go ahead.
And what's that verse?
The last one.
Prince of Peace.
And the Prince of who?
The Prince of Peace.
The Prince of Peace. See that?
Prince of Shop.
He's the Prince of Peace. You must see this. Big Servant Smith there.
And that's they were saying he was the father of peace. That'll make him the king of peace. So he's a prince of peace.
He's the Prince of Peace, right? So when they try to say that Christ is Melchizedek, well, Melchizedek says he's the King of Peace. I said, well, this verse says he is the Prince of Peace. So he couldn't be Melchizedek. So all y'all teaching on Christ and Melchizedek would have to be wrong.
Right.
Because one is the king, one is and one of them is the Prince of Peace.
He's the son of
Who's the King of Peace?
Melchizedek. I mean, you said
Who's the King of Peace?
Melchizedek.
Who's Melchizedek?
The priest.
the Most High.
The Most High.
Okay.
That's the Most High,
That's the original.
right? He's the King of Peace.
Hey,
His son would be the Prince of Peace. Make sense?
Hey,
Shabbat Shalom, Servant Smith.
Hey, Shalom, brother.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
He's from Salo. What's his name?
Salem. Go ahead, Nathaniel. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. So, because we're talking about the school of the prophets, right? So, I don't know why I'm asking this, but I'm asking anyway. Would the deacon of Cod be part of the school since he's under the order of Melchizedek?
Say it again.
I said, so we're talking about the school of the prophets, right? So, because the bar is very question, like, it'd be in the order of Melchizedek. So, like, would Prince of Cod, would he be trying to say he's in the school of the prophets too?
He said Prince of Cod?
Yeah, deacon of Cod, I'm sorry, deacon of Cod. The deacon, because he changed his name to being like, order of Melchizedek. So, like, would he saying that would he be saying that he's from the school of the prophets too?
He's trying to say that. But the reason why he can't be from the order of Melchizedek is because he believes he's not in the New Testament. And you can only be a priest in the order of Melchizedek if the New Testament never came. Otherwise, under the Old Testament, only Levites can be priests. So he ain't claiming to be a Levite. So he can't
That's true.
He can't be a priest in Melchizedek because you're under the Old
Right.
Testament.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay,
Cut
gotcha.
yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Right, real. Okay, yeah, definitely. Okay.
And priests can't have
Bad
multiple
doctrine.
wives.
He didn't even know he was cutting himself. That's so bad.
The priests can't have multiple wives either.
Right. Right.
So when it was asked Salakium, the government would be on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying? Like he gonna have to run and flee, or he's holding like
he's setting up the government, right? It's all going to be controlled by him. You know what I'm saying? But the government is of his body, right? The body of Christ is the governing body of the new kingdom, right? Then he has all that name, Wonderful Counselor, right? And I think that word right there, mighty, is Gabor, the Gabor God, right? Meaning that he's a warrior God. He's a warrior God, right? A warrior Elohim, right? The Gabor, the everlasting Father. We got that covered. We can claim this is for our Christian listeners. That's not speaking of him being the Most High. You get that clear. Because if he was, then he couldn't be the Prince of Peace. If Christ is the Father, can he be the Prince of Peace? Because if not, then who's the King? It wouldn't make any sense with it.
He's the king and prince.
He would be the king. It was consistent. It wouldn't drop down to Prince. Right?
That's some father that's saying
Yeah, you can't give a prince title to the Most High. Nowhere.
No,
Can you-
not at all.
Always got.
Won't make no sense.
He gotta be king.
Gotta be king consistently, every time.
Well, what about this king of kings? That's, the title still go to the Mashiach.
King of kings on the earth, right? Because Chris, we shall rule on the earth,
Okay.
right? So down here.
See, that-
Now, if he was in heaven, that's gonna be something different.
Okay, come on. Okay, got you.
It's the location that makes him the king of kings, right?
Right.
But again, he's the only one of, Nebuchadnezzar was called a king of kings, right? In the Bible as well. He was king of kings. And there was a one more person thing called king of kings in the text. This Nebuchadnezzar called king of kings. And I think one of the Persian Empire, Persian kings.
Was it
called-
Darius?
One of them was called a king of kings. And I think it was two
He's
of
the
them was
God
called.
king.
Who?
Darius, I think he was a god king of Persia. Wasn't that?
Well, I'm not, but the text said king of kings.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But really, if you are a king that's over other kingdoms
Right.
that have kings in
yeah.
there, you would literally be a king of kings. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
we know he did that. So.
Huh. All right, let's go back to Samuel. Yeah, now let's go to Samuel chapter 16, verse 13 and 14.
First Samuel.
Yeah, First Samuel chapter 16, verse 13 and 14. All right, who got that?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
First Samuel chapter 16, reading at verse 13.
Yes.
Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to
Went to Ramah. Ramah is where Samuel lived, according to the text. Right, so once Samuel anointed David, the Spirit of the Lord came upon David, right? Put that olive oil on him, on his head, anointed him, right? Anointed of the Most High. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David, it says, from that day forward. Go ahead.
Verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul.
See that? Remember, Saul had he was prophesying. The Spirit of the Lord left him.
Wow.
Go ahead.
And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
Now, that was replaced with an evil spirit. See that? Because Saul wouldn't listen. So when you have the Spirit of the Lord, you prophesy, right? And even the text tells us that what? God gave Saul a different understanding, a different mind, right? Right? But he want to go what? Backwards. He want to go backwards. He want to go back to the old man, right? He want to go back to the old man. He want to hunt down David and kill David for no justifiable reasons, right? We talking about a man. We're talking about a man that's engaged to his daughter.
Right.
You trying to kill a man engaged to your daughter? What's wrong with you? You tripping, bro?
His son-in-law.
Your son-in-law. You trying to kill your son-in-law, right?
So that debunks the once saved, always saved.
Yes. I'm going to show you that you have people that could have gotten the Spirit of the Most High, prophesied, got a new mind, and you can still see they can go off. That's what the Messiah said. He didn't endure to the end. So all this you say was a bunch of nonsense. You ain't saved at all until the end.
Cross the finish line.
Till the end.
Till kingdom come.
Yeah. Again, you're gonna have people that are gonna do, oh man, I'm going with the Lord, everybody's in the spirit, everybody this, that, and the third, and then next thing you know, sometime near the end, he falls right off. You're like, man, what happened? It can happen. It can happen. Don't get caught up. You can get happen. A lot of people in Israel are caught up in these teachers and these guys and stuff, because they don't really know these guys. You gotta go to the end. Consistency. Right, from there, let's get 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 15 and 16. 2 Kings chapter 19 is what I want. Hold on, did I miss?
Oh, let me get Second Kings first. Second Kings chapter 2, verse 3. Second Kings chapter 2. I'm gonna pull it up right now. No, we don't want this yet. Hold up. Verse 3, verse 9. Yeah, Second Kings chapter 2, verse 3. Let's get that. Second Kings chapter 2, verse 3. Let's pull that up. Yes.
Yeah, I got that when everybody's there.
All right, go ahead, brother.
All right, reading from the book of Second Kings, chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, and the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha, and said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, yea, I know it. Hold ye your peace.
So we got the sons of the prophets, right? We're coming into another, right? Before we had the company of prophets in Samuel time, these are their children, the descendants. So we have a consistency coming all the way down, right? We read where Peter talks about, ye are the children of the prophets in Acts chapter 3. So we have a consistency coming all the way down of the prophets. So that tells you that the prophets had.
Hey, Alvin, I barely can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna change the microphone next week, man.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. So we see a consistency of the prophets coming down. So even though it isn't mentioned, we know that the prophets had wives. They have children to come all the way down, right? From Samuel time, all the way in Elijah's time, right? Children, your sons of the prophets coming all the way down, right? And it says that were at Bethel came to Elisha and said unto him, knowest thou that the Most High will take away who? Thy master, right? Will take away your master. So who's the head of the school? Elijah is. Elijah is the head of the school, right? The head of the school of the prophets, right? And we see clearly here, we have some of them that was at Bethel, right? They was at Bethel, right? Can you read verse 5, brother?
Yeah, verse 5. Yeah, it reads, and the sons of the prophets that were at Jericho came to Elisha and said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he answered, yea, I know it. Hold your peace.
And then we have another sons of prophets. They were at Jericho. It says, and the sons of the prophets that were at Jericho. Different places, different locations. You have sons of prophets, and it wasn't centralized in just one place in Bethel, but another section of them in Jericho. Okay? Different places. See again?
What did Jericho mean?
Jericho is a place. What does it mean? I'm forgetting what Jericho means. I need to look it up though. I can tell you what it means. We don't look it up. But we have different ones in Jericho, and we have one in Bethel. I can stop. Bethel is the house of God. Beth is house and El is God. House of God, right? So they have in different fractions of them. We had the sons of the prophets. You have different school. You have a school in Bethel, and you have a school in Jericho, right? You know, which is like trying to say the house of God, Bayah Alahai. Okay, so we have different schools. So he's over, and Elijah was over these schools. That's why I'm thinking in the New Testament. That's why we read about this God that you meet. We don't know, he could be a different school that Christ was over, another area, and then he had the apostles that we're dealing with. They're in the forefront, but this other school that he's dealing with, these other men are in the back, in the back front, right? Because what's interesting is that if you notice, right, when Christ resurrects, right, let me take this. I always wondered, but when I was reading it, when Christ resurrects, he comes, right? He tells him, tell my brethren I'm gonna meet him over here in Galilee, right? And he's gone. I'm like, where did he go? Where is he going? I thought these are the men you dealing with. Where you gone for so long? Right? He's gone. And I'm saying, I was wondering, where did he go? 7 days later, he comes to the apostles, right? He's dealing with them for a little bit of time. He's gone again. He disappears, he's gone. For 7 more days. I'm like, where did he go again? I always thought he's going to other people, to other men that he had set up and stuff. All the time, I said he's visiting other people when he resurrected. He has to be. It doesn't make any sense. He didn't go back to heaven. He's still here, but where is he going? Yes, sir.
Well, didn't Joshua would have prepared the spices for him and stuff? He had to go see him too, right?
That's all of them.
Why?
But the thing about it is, Paul tells us he was seeing about over 400 men. I'm like, there it is right there.
Wow.
He's seen other. He wants to go see other people, and somehow whatever he's going to see it for, he's getting them ready or lining them up for different things. And I think what he's lining up for different things to do, because later on we read in Acts chapter 2, it said 3,000 joined the church. I'm like, oh, isn't that them? That would make sense. And then bringing them in.
Wow.
That's why he's gone. Like, that has to be what this thing is. Makes sense, right? He had 2 different schools that he was setting up. The one with the apostles that were in the forefront, and one in the back, right? And I think the ones in the back, school of prophets. In the New Testament, I think this is what this thing is saying to us.
Wow. So he separated them, but they were still together.
Yeah, there was one in the forefront, some in the back.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we see right here, we have some in Bethel and some in Jericho. You know what I'm saying? But they have one head though. That's what unites them. They have one head. You know what I'm saying? So I have these ones here dealing with the situation over here, that I have the other ones dealing with over here, right? Just like today, you don't think that there's only Israelites here in North America. Right? Because when I was coming up, these guys in New York were teaching us that God was dealing with them in New York. And nobody else in the world was dealing with them.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Teaching that nonsense. I said, listen, that is crazy. How this guy just dealing with y'all and nobody else in the entire world? Y'all the only ones he can deal with?
They still teaching that Yohanan, and then
I think I've heard something like that before too. I mean, I in the past, I don't know if they still do it, but I've heard something like that like in years ago.
Probably heard it from the other one, fake.
Hey, brothers, listen, they delusional. When I first said, nah, y'all delusional, of course. There is no way the Most High God will limit himself just to y'all. That made no sense at all whatsoever.
For real, man.
Why would he do that?
Yeah.
We should scatter the bride before
Right. They so special, just them. That's puffed upness right there. Man, just puff they self up, bro.
Yohanan's still there. We home was the truth, man. That's the same old slogan.
Same thing they're trying to say the same thing. Yeah, God gonna humble them down. That's right. But he didn't exalt themselves to be the base, the text says.
That's what the Most High was doing with Pharaoh.
That's what he did with Gorilla a minute ago. Exalted himself and put him down.
But you see how he was hardening Pharaoh's heart?
Yes.
So he can bring him down?
Yeah, he's hardened but Pharaoh also hardened his heart too as well.
Yeah.
Text said he hardened his heart too. Right? Clearly when he was supposed to let him go, he hardened his own heart. The text said that too as well. So certain things God did harden his heart. Pharaoh doing the same thing. All right, so we got 2 schools here. Let's get another one. 1 Kings. It's 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 15 and 16. 1 Kings chapter 19.
Verse 15 and 16.
Yeah.
Brothers there. 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him,
Unto him is Elijah. Go ahead.
Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus.
Uh-huh.
And when thou comest, anoint Hezekiah,
Hazael.
king over Syria.
Have you heard something like that before? In your life, that you have a prophet from another nation. He goes anoint the king of another nation. He tells Elijah, go to Damascus and anoint Hazael king of Syria. It shows you the Most High runs everything.
Mhm.
He's ordaining kings in other nations. Right here, in the text, right here. And Hazael was king over Syria as Elijah went and anointed him. I can imagine this guy, he getting anointed. He's like, what you doing? I'm anointing you king. He's like, you doing what? Anointing you king. Said, nah, he's just a soldier in the army working for his king. I'm not the king's son. I'm not going to be king next. God is saying you are.
Wow. 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 That's good news right there.
Well, I'm just saying, you listen, you don't hear of other nations anointing kings in Israel.
Right,
They don't do that.
right.
But you hear our God telling our prophets to go anoint kings in other nations and setting them up. The both sides spreading everything. Yes, sir.
What was that king name when Hamashiach Yahweh Shai was around? Where they was like I think he was another race though. I think the wise man came to him.
You talking about Herod?
I think it was Hayrod.
Yeah, that's the only one the wise men came to.
Hayrod. It was like, what king? King? I'm king.
Yeah.
What race was he though?
He's Edomite.
He was Edomite. He was a Herodian, wasn't he?
Didn't he have swords all over him? And
No, that was the other one.
I mean, he's an Edomite.
What was it?
Herodian would come from him because he's Herod.
Herod.
He's from the nation of Esau, Edom. He Edomite.
He married an Israelite woman, didn't he?
I think two he married. Not all of them, but two. He married two daughters of the high priest. Yeah, but not all of them.
What?
He had plenty of wives. And he was no joke. He killed wives and sons too. He was ruthless. He killed a lot of his sons. If he don't like you, it's off with your head. So
wait, how he passed away again?
he passed away gruesomely. The Most High killed him from the inside out,
Inside out.
according to Eusebius' History of the Church. He died from the inside out.
Rotting.
Yes. All right, who was reading?
I mean, 16.
Yes, sir.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Verse 16. And Jehu, the son of
Nimshi.
shall thou anoint to be king over Israel.
Look at that. He anointed someone in Syria and someone in Israel, right? Know their kingdom. Go ahead.
And
Elisha,
the son of Shaphat of Ebelin, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room.
in thy room. So he tell Elijah, you're gonna anoint Elisha to take over your place. In your room, meaning in your place, right? In your room, meaning in your place. So then Elisha became the head of the school of the prophets, or the company of the prophets that we read about in 2 Kings chapter 2, in place of Elijah. Elijah is the head, then Elisha is supposed to take over his place, right? Be prophet in his room. To be head of the school, right? The same thing that happens, right? When Christ left, who did Christ put in place to be the head of the apostle of the church? James, his brother, right? Put James over the church, and he continue on down. So if the leader is gonna not be, they're gonna leave. He's going back to heaven or whatever. He have to again pick a replacement.
Point come.
Right, we see right here he put the replacement, and the same thing we know according to the historical record that James was the head of the church. Well, according to the Acts, and according to Paul, we know that James is the head of the church. that time. All right. In his room, in his place. Okay, from there, we about to wrap it up in a minute. Elisha became the. Okay, can we get 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 15? 2 Kings chapter 2. It's coming to confirm it. Elisha is he did take over. Go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 15, verse 15?
Chapter 2, verse 15.
Chapter 2, verse 15.
Yes.
You want to take it?
No, you go ahead.
Chapter 2, verse 15.
Come.
And it reads, And when the sons of the prophets, which were to view at Jericho, saw him, they said, The spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha.
Yeah, so the spirit of Elijah rests upon Elisha, right? Go ahead.
And they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground before him.
See, they brought himself to him, showing you that he is taking over. He's now taking over for Elijah. He is now the head of the prophets, right? I want you to jump up. I should have jumped up earlier, but jump up to verse 12.
Verse 12.
Yes, sir.
And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariots of Israel.
So who's he calling my father, my father? Elijah.
Elijah.
Right?
Yes.
So he calling him my leader, my leader. He's not his biological father.
Right.
Leader. Again, we brought out that the father means the leader. That's what it means. That's what it means here. My father, he's the leader of the school of the prophets, the chariots of Israel. We see consistently here again, right? So again, this again goes back to you have to understand the dynamic of the word father, right? Father is a generic term, right? Doesn't necessarily mean your biological father. It's a generic term that is used, right? And this is important again when you come back to where they like to argue where Mary says, your father and I have sought you. They say, see that right there, brother. It says, call Joseph the father right there, brother. That's his father right there. Father is a generic term. It's not necessarily a pinpointing biological relationship, right? So, but they don't understand from the Old Testament time, this term, father, is generic. They don't get it. So when they see it there with Mary using it, they misunderstand it. You know what I'm saying?
Father figure.
Yes.
One who raised them.
So, but when the generic term is used, if it's your biological father, it's going to say that it is. It's going to say the son. This is your son. You know what I'm saying? To clarify, the text does that. But the term is a generic term that can be used for biological or someone that's not your father, your leader or something, right?
A teacher.
Or a teacher. Or even a stepfather.
Yeah.
As Joseph was to the Messiah, not necessarily biological. So that argument goes right out the window with these terms that they're trying to think they understand. They don't understand terms, right?
Elisha seen Elijah descend to heaven.
He went to heaven, right? So he had to pick a. You had to pick a replacement, right? Can we get 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 22? 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 22. All right, who got that? All right, go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 22. Verse 22. And he said, all is well, my master has sent me, saying, behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments.
And 2 changes of garments, right? So we see again, we have another sons of school of the prophets that was in Mount Ephraim, right? So we have Bethel, Jericho, and we have Mount Ephraim. There's another place right here. There's a place, right? So we have different schools again. That's why I think the same thing's happening in the Renewed Testament under the Messiah. You had different fractions in schools that the Messiah was over, and then he eventually merged them all together once he resurrected. Once he resurrected, he actually merged them all together.
Is that how you think you got the 72 apostles?
Yeah, because they came out of nowhere, didn't they? The 70 or the 72, they came out of nowhere,
Wow.
right? You didn't really read about the 70 like rolling with the
Because it's 12.
with the 12.
Wow.
With the 12. Then all of a sudden the 70 or 72 came out of nowhere.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you're not paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? And then that man with the picture of water. Who's that? Who's that? Is he one of the 72 or 70? All kind of nuances going on. You know what I'm saying? They not paying attention to in the text. We see in the school of prophets. The same thing what I believe was happening in the Renewed Testament as well. Right? Let's get one more in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 7. We're gonna come to our Renewed Testament and we get ready to finish it off. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 7. All right, who got that?
So
Go ahead.
2 King chapter 2, reading at verse 7. And 50 men of the son of the prophets went and stood to view afar off, and they two stood by Jordan.
Right, so we have 50 of them went. So that means there's at least 50 of them that's part of the school, but only 50 went. So there was probably more than 50 of them. So we're talking about this ain't no small school, right? These 50 of these men that went to see this thing about Elijah getting taken up to heaven, right? They have a nice size school of 50 prophets, which is good, right? Because we need these men to go teach the people, right?
They bear witness.
To bear witness, right? The Most High said he had he had 70 men in somewhere that haven't bowed down the ball. That's what he was telling Elijah, right? So we have the Most High himself acknowledging that they were of a prophet that he had hid in these caves that Jezebel didn't kill, right? Because she was hunting down the Most High's prophets and killing them, trying to destroy the school of the prophets. Jezebel was trying to do that when Ahab married her. Yes, sir.
It is Baal and Baal, them different
What two again you said?
Baal and Baal.
Baal,
Yeah,
and who else?
Baal.
You're saying the same thing but differently.
Like you said, what was his name? Baal.
Baal.
That's not the one that they prayed to in the wilderness, though. When they
We're
made
talking
the
about the
calf.
calf by all.
No. That's them two cows. Hathor and Apis.
Yeah.
Those are gods from Egypt. Those were bull gods from Egypt. Those were different.
Is there a Baal that
That's a Canaanite you trying to say.
That's a different nation idol.
Yeah, by all, B-A-A-L.
Yeah, but it's still Lord.
Yeah, it's still Lord. Everybody.
Oh.
Now,
Sometimes translated husband, depending on how you
they
use it.
trying to, like, other Israelites trying to say, oh, that's Canaanite. Evil way of saying something. I don't know what they're trying.
That's probably Baal with the hyphen in it, like that.
Yeah, B-A-A-L.
Yeah.
Baal.
Because then they split it B-A-A-L or Baal something.
That's how you pronounce it.
The Baal you talking about different, huh?
Canaanite.
No, the same thing.
Oh, no, you can't say Lord. That's what you mean. That's what they mean by all. That's what they like thought one of them saying.
But what I said, it means it can be translated as that.
Yeah, but you can't say Lord.
You can't say Lord. What you mean? You can't say Lord.
That's what he's saying because it's Baal.
He's saying the name is so holy you shouldn't say.
That's not holy. I mean, he's trying to say it's not holy that you can't That means Lord.
Well, he said you shouldn't say Yahweh, right?
No, not that. He said you don't say Lord either because it's Baal. It's supposed to be evil. It's supposed to be talking about a Canaanite God.
You said you can't say the word Baal.
I mean, not Baal, but you can't say Lord,
Lord.
because Baal means Lord. In Canaanite, right?
And what does Adonai mean?
I don't know. We gotta ask that dude. That's why I don't listen to him.
You know, he know what he's talking about. He need to be quiet.
He comes because he be listening to them.
Adonai can mean Lord or sir. So he know what he's talking about.
He be listening to Old Testament Israelites too much.
Yeah. Tony.
What is that called that the Muslims pray to in was it Mecca?
That Kaaba?
Yeah.
That black stone?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That stone that fell from heaven, they claim, which is ridiculous.
I wonder what's really.
Why would you worship a rock that fell from this? What is wrong with these people, bro? A rock that fell from the sky they worshiping now.
They also believe that the sun is 93 million miles from
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
science talk and all of that.
Listen,
Hey man, listen, them people, they really be eating and believing their own lies, bro. You know what I'm saying? I sit there and I listen to them talk, and I'm like, what you saying ain't make no sense. But they thinking that what they saying is so deep and they eating it up. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
Even Farrakhan be talking like that.
They do that too.
Yeah,
Them brothers do that too in the Nation of Islam.
Mhm.
They be saying a whole bunch of foolishness. I'm like, that don't make no sense.
Man, the earth is.
And they acting like it's deep.
Mhm.
I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
The earth weighs 102 million tons. The hell you talking?
How did you measure that? I mean, how did you weigh it?
That's what I'm saying. They said some crazy stuff. They're thinking it's deep, and you're like, how you come to that conclusion, bro? And the people listen like, speak, brother. Yeah, that's right, brother.
That's right.
That's right, brother.
Yes,
Talk about
sir.
it. Yes, sir. Like he ain't saying nothing that's correct. What you
Right.
talking about?
Because the base of the pyramid calculates.
Yeah.
What?
They believe their own foolishness. They be making stuff up, bro. It's like the more crazy it is, they want to say because the people be eating
The
it
big
up,
one,
bro.
the one that got me when they said Yaakov, Jacob created.
Yeah, and all that, yeah,
Big
all
head
that.
scientists.
Yeah.
That killed me right.
Crazy stuff.
I
That,
said,
that
who?
was a good one. That was a good one.
Yaakov, yeah, Jacob, you know, the big head scientist, you know. He created the white man in the lab.
Yeah.
That's right, bro.
Why would he do something like that?
Because he wanted to dominate, have dominion over.
Black. How would a black man make a white man to oppress him? How does it make any sense, bro?
Man, you need to destroy that right away.
I'm the logic behind you even believing something like that is ridiculous, bro. You think you would make him to serve you, not to oppress you, right?
To impress you.
It's ridiculous. Can we get Acts chapter 11, man? Hey man, again, man, Israelite the Texas being sheep, it is on point. It is on point.
Fried ice cream in summertime.
Hey man, listen, our people is quick to believe almost anything, bro.
Ice cream castles in the summertime. Ice cream
It is
castles
crazy.
in the summer.
It is crazy.
Who sung that song?
Word?
Yeah. The time.
Acts chapter 11, verse 27 and 28. Acts chapter 11, verse 27 and 28.
Acts chapter 11, starting at verse 27.
Yes, sir.
And in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch.
And in these days came more than one from Jerusalem. It's another glimpse that there are prophets in Jerusalem. Do we read about when we read in the gospel accounts, we read about prophets in Jerusalem? From where? Jerusalem. Huh? Nah.
The city of Pagan?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of times I'm trying to I'm trying to find there's two places in the gospel account where Christ went somewhere and the text says he would have no man know it, he gone. And I'm reading, I'm like, where did he go?
Hey, wait, where did he go? He said he wouldn't have no man know where he went. He just gone. I'm like, where is this man going, man? This is something's up here, man. You know me. Once I get the breadcrumbs, I'm trying to follow. I'm like, where did he go? I think he's going to these prophets. He's gone into these prophets, and he's training up he's training up these new guys, these apostles, these disciples, because the Most High said, these ones here, I want them to be your head governing body. These ones right here, one of them, right? And one of them is a devil, and he's going to be replaced by this one over here coming up later, right? Paul. But he also had others behind him, other prophets, other school that he was dealing with. Because why is he disappearing and gone and no one know where he's going?
And then those Essenes being in the wilderness, kind of like off by themselves.
Yeah.
So it was they all three this same tribe from what's that? What Judas, Matthias, and then Saul? Was they all the same tribe?
Judas,
Matthias. Judas the one that betrayed Jesus. Hamashiach Yahweh Shai.
Oh, I don't know what this. Don't tell you what tribe Judas is from. I don't know what tribe Judas is from. It don't tell you what tribe Matthias is from. We know what tribe Saul is from. We know what tribe they're from. Right now, you want to talk to them other brothers, they gonna make it up. Gonna make it sound sensational. You know what I'm saying? And so we have prophets that came down from Jerusalem and onto Antioch. Clearly, it was sent by the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 28. And there stood up one of them named Agabus, and signified by the Spirit that there should be great dearth throughout all the world, which came to pass in the day of Claudius Caesar.
Came to pass in Claudius Caesar, right? So Agabus stood up, right? He seems to be over that school that was in Jerusalem. He's the one that stood up and signified by this.
This the man that had the bread and the wine?
Who?
This one who had the bread and the wine?
What bread and the wine? You talking about?
Oh no,
yeah, no, that's an Agabus. Yeah, you know what I mean. But again, he came with other prophets from Jerusalem. So there got to be a group of prophets or a school of prophets somewhere in Jerusalem, right? And they came down to Antioch, came down to the brothers, to Paul and them, and let them know, hey, listen, the Most High is saying there's going to be a great famine. The third is a famine, right? That's going to happen in the land, right, in Judea, right? To tell them. So what they got to go do now is send up to the other bodies of Christ for help and relief. When you read down, that's what they did. They went to go get help for the brother that's in Judea. Because there was again, whenever there is a famine comes in, if we follow the trace record of a famine, it's something to do with some kind of death being done illegally in the land, in shedding of innocent blood or something like that has happened, and it caused a famine to come. Because of famine to come into the land. I'm saying, come to that effect. So it's a famine coming in. People are dying or being killed or something innocently. Brings in this famine, this dearth. And we see the Most High knew at the time, letting his church know, right? The body of his son know that it can help relief for the brothers that's in Jerusalem. That's it's about to come. Give them prayer information. That's why I tell brothers that I believe you don't need no gun. You need none of that. Whenever you're gonna go down, gonna threaten your life, God gonna let you know. He gonna intervene and let you know. Listen, this situation here is for your life. Here's what you do. Here's what you don't do. He has always keep his church informed when these things happen, when it comes to their life being threatened. He's always done it.
We be ignoring it.
Yeah, you're not listening, or you putting your trust in something else. You don't need to do none of that. You don't need no gun, none of that nonsense you're talking about. I'm protect my family with my gun. Okay.
you don't believe. You think that that gun can't save you or your family.
Wow.
You lost it.
Your power and profit.
Listen, people that have guns do not believe that. You can tell, listen, the Most High Christ got you and your family. They do not believe that. They believe that a gun can do it. They say, yeah, brother, you sound good, but I'm keeping my gun. All right, bro. All right. You putting that trust in that gun. That's what you're doing. You really don't believe. See, they have to go through a scenario where their life get threatened and they see the Most High intervene for them to actually really believe it. I've been through it, and I've had our brother to give me testimony. They've been through like this situation, and the Most High intervened and told them what to do, and they turned out okay without a scratch. If they would have did anything other than what he told them, they would have been in the coffin. Tony.
Oh, this Claudius Caesar, the one that reigned when Hamashiach Yahushua was on earth.
Yes.
And that's what like give to Caesar was Caesar.
Yes.
He the one who rewind time from like BC to then he rewind time.
He's one who will.
I mean not rewind like made it with the first century after. I think after Hamashiach Yahushua passed,
he rewind time.
Starting to stop
From
time.
making it from BCE or whatever that was to AD.
You talking about a king of the Romans?
Yeah, the king of the Romans. Julius Caesar. Like for us to be in 2025, he made the time.
No. That's the church.
The
Roman Catholic Church.
Greco-Catholic.
Yeah, they said everything like that. They said everything as corny as BC and AD, right? According to the belief in the Messiah, right? He's the focal point, right? That everything before him is BC,
right?
And then AD is Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord,
right?
Which they say is in the first century, right? Or 1 AD going forward, right? That would be in his year.
But he's saying this ain't the king who set all that into play.
No.
Right.
No. And people today that don't believe in the Messiah would say that how that all that set up that's set up by believers in Christ. They're the one they would put this label of BC and AD on the timeline. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Because something changed in the first century. It was going a certain way, right? It was going a certain way.
Like time was going backwards.
And then no, I'm saying this man comes on the scene and starts a movement.
Right.
A movement that grew like rapid, you know what I'm saying?
That's powerful.
Not only grew rapid, it was a movement that they couldn't do nothing with. They tried to, but they couldn't snuff it out.
Which Caesar was that got stabbed up by all these men?
That's Julius.
Julius.
He got stabbed up because he tried to bring in an outside woman. An outside woman, an outside ear, an outside ear to an outside woman. Try to bring Cleopatra. They're not having that.
Keep the bloodline pure.
Yeah, they're not having that. Yeah, because people believe they're trying to talk about how she's she's black. No, that Cleopatra isn't. She is Edomite. She's Greek. Right? She's from Alexander's lot.
Yeah.
She's not an Egyptian. Now they could have. I think the first one might have been an Egyptian, or one of them was an Egyptian, but that one was. The timeline does not match up based on the position that she had. The Greeks ran Egypt at that time. You're not gonna have no black queen sitting on the throne. Not according to their customs and laws and how they put stuff in place. That's not gonna happen. All right, let's go from there. Let's get Acts chapter 21, verse 10 and 11. Acts chapter 21.
Acts chapter 21, starting at verse 10.
Yes.
And as we tarried there many days, there came down from Judea a captain,
A certain
prophet named Agabus.
the same one that we read about,
Huh.
right? Him and his brothers came down back in Acts chapter 11, talk about the dearth. Then the Most High said, I need you to go by yourself. Go down there, Agabus. So he came down here by himself. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And when he was come unto us, he took Paul's girdle.
So when this man came, he grabbed Paul's girdle. This is outer garment, right? Go ahead.
And bound his own hands and feet.
So he tied up his own hand, his own feet with it. Go ahead.
And said, thus said the Holy Spirit, so shall the Jews at Jerusalem bind the man that owneth this girdle, and shall deliver him unto the hands of the Gentiles.
Right? So we see, I'm coming here to show you that God has prophets, and when he wants certain things to be told about a person, he will send that person all the way down there to get you the information. Right? He does it all the time. If there's something that you need to know, he gonna get it to you. Right? That's how he had always operated. Right? And even in these last days that we in, I believe that there are prophets here. There are prophets here in these last days. Right? But the problem is the faith issue. It's the faith issue is the problem. Most men don't really believe, especially those that claim to believe. They don't, right? How come we ain't see more of these prophets that we reading about in the text in our time? But the Most High shut it down. Know what he did? He shut it down. Why would he shut it down?
Was it Joseph was the only prophet out of the 12 tribes? For them to like tell
No.
Benjamin.
Well, their father was Jacob, the prophet as well, right? Remember, he did the whole prophesy about the tribes, right?
Huh.
He was a prophet. But again, according to the writings of the Essenes that they have writings of these brothers. They have writings of the patriarchs, Jacob's sons. They talk about future stuff. They talk about the Messiah a lot. And meaning it all lines up. They talk about the Messiah. They talk about stuff in
His card should have been.
Yeah, they talk about stuff in the New Testament. They talk about stuff in the New Testament as well, right? They have writings from the Jacob's 12 sons, and they have one of Levi's son, Kohath. I mean, it's some good information. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of read, but it's good information. Stuff lines up, and they claim they have stuff again also from before the flood. That's what I'm tracing. What? Yeah, they said they had writing before the flood. We do see stuff being written down according to the book of Jasher before the flood. There's stuff written down before the flood as well. You know what I'm saying?
What was it? It was completely in cuneiform though, right? Or pictorial.
Well, certain things it talks about it being written on stone.
Okay.
So, and I think that there would be some other things I would think written down too as well. That probably Noah had on that ark as well too. Again, the Essenes are saying we have these writings, right? I don't think they just sitting up there making stuff up, writing stuff up. You know what I'm saying? And the reason you know they write stuff up because if they're doing that, you can say, man, what you saying is way off base. What they're saying is not way off base. Stuff is beat. Like this morning, I went on one with Gabar with that Takufa stuff. It sounds great, but when you look at it, you're like,
yeah,
I gotta look into it some more. There is something here. It ain't completely crazy. They ain't completely crazy. There's a little something here. I need to check some more into it. Not saying it's all correct, but it's worth looking into. You know what I'm saying? Now just making stuff up, you be like, man, all that's a bunch of garbage. That don't make no sense whatsoever. Ain't, it's way off base. But it is. These writings, when you read it, when you go back to the prophecies and stuff that happened, again, there is no way that they can come within a year or two of the Messiah coming if their calendar is so off. As I'm saying, something with their calendar. There is no way they can predict it that accurately if their calendar is so bad. They're within 2 years predicting when he came. He gonna come this point in AD 32. They right there. They right there with their calendar. So I'm like, man, how are these guys calculating this thing so close?
Mm.
I had to go dive into their calendar some more and be like, man, I gotta look into their calendar some more. There is something here about these guys' calendar. You need to look into and understand.
And that do make sense how you said David counted and he knew because he's a shepherd. So maybe the shepherds had dual jobs like keeping track of the sky or stuff like that, or even knowing what season it was.
Definitely.
Mhm.
The shepherd job to know stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Christ is called our shepherd, right?
Come,
And he knows these things.
come.
And he taught us these things already, right? Paul talks about for the times and the season,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that I write onto you because you yourself know the times and the season.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna write that onto you. You know these things already, right? So certain things are like common knowledge to the body of Christ and the church. They know these things,
Mm-hmm.
these times and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's off today because we have lost our identity and records. They stole our records.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to come back to it, but the stuff we battling over, trying to figure out the calendar and all that, we knew all this stuff, bro. This was not something that we was, you know what I'm saying? You might have been in a different calendar, and we would understand why you're in a different calendar,
Mm-hmm.
but we would yet understand the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
Northern
right?
Southern.
We would understand, yeah, we would understand the sun, moon, and stars. We would understand these things.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to get back to them, trying to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get back, and that's where the the ups and downs are coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Get back to our identity.
Yeah, but again, by no means are we giving up, but it is worth investigating anything that's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And the scenes calendar and the writings is definitely one of those things we need to definitely look at. I understand some more. You know what I'm saying?
We should sue the Armakites for identity theft.
More than that. You know what I'm saying?
You lock them up for theft.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not only that they're hiding our records, bro. They have a lot of even the Vatican. There's a lot of stuff in the Vatican that belongs to us
Right.
that they're keeping and hiding.
Come,
You know what I'm saying?
come. All the museums too.
Yeah, especially the museums.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a museum that's actually holding the nose of the Sphinx and won't return it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy said he found it. He told the museum to return it. The museum said they ain't returning it.
They said they seen an image under the pyramids lately too. They found some columns under there and a lot of stuff under them pyramids. Did you see anything about that?
I didn't see anything
That's
about
gonna
that.
blow your mind. This is a good one.
Yeah, let's get our last scripture here when we finish up. Last scripture, we get Numbers chapter 11.
Come.
Numbers 11. So our last scripture here for the night. Numbers chapter 11, we're going to start at verse 16. (16, 17), and then we're going to jump down to verse 25 to 29. Yeah, so we're nearing the end of this thing, man. I hope that we're in this last jubilee, last 50 years, and there can be some emergence of the school of the prophets. Most I can start bringing back the prophets, man. We know according to Revelation, they're going to be two prophets sent. He talks about that. My two prophets. It speaks about that. So we know prophets are still coming. So I expecting two more to come, at least. You know what I'm saying? I believe there are prophets here too as well. You need to show they, you know what I'm saying, show they self and get more aligned with different things because listen, these men can help us with the calendar. You know what I'm saying?
Are the faithful witnesses prophets too?
That's who they are, right?
Okay,
Yeah, they call them prophets too. Yeah, we know they're coming our future. So prophets have not been distinguished. I mean extinguished. They the Most High still selling prophets to us. which we need.
They think there's gonna be Moses and Elijah?
Come. Yeah. If we hear, we'll, yeah. you know. If we hear, we go ask them. All right, we got to that Numbers chapter 11.
I take it.
Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 11, starting at verse 16. I'm gonna take the first two and you take the last one. Starting at verse 16. And the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people and officers of them, and bring them unto the tabernacles of the congregation, that they might stand there with thee.
Right, so because Moses is crying about it's too much to deal with these people of Israel. But you know how Israel get unruly. Moses is like, hey, I need some help. You know what I'm saying? He getting crazy. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone.
Right, so some of the spirit that was on Moses, he's gonna take some of that off of him and stretch this thing out. Right. Moses had a nice chunk of it, but you're gonna get some of that gonna be taken off of him and then spread it out. All right, jump down to verse 25. Come.
Hey, Salakia, I just noticed that, man. It's like same thing with the body of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Like the full blast of it is on the Messiah, but in order for us to have it, it's got to like be distributed throughout the rest of the body. It's interesting. Okay, I just never caught that before. So he really is like the prophet, like under Moses.
Yes, definitely.
Good catch.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, Tony.
11. Numbers chapter 11, verse 25. And the Lord came down in a cloud and spake unto him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease.
Right. To go back to what Gabar was saying just now, this goes back to when the Messiah had resurrected, and then he breathed on the apostles, and he said, receive the Holy Spirit. That's part of him just distributing some of that spirit that was on him, right? And that gave them the power to be able to forgive sins. Even though we never read about them using that, but they had the ability to forgive sin. Not only that, they had the ability to make sin stay upon one person. Your sin gonna stay upon. It ain't gonna come off. Which is crazy, you know what I'm saying? That's power, bro.
I mean, that did something nasty right there. Like, you gotta stick to this.
Yeah. Go ahead. So they prophesy and they cease not. Go ahead.
Holy Ghost. Verse 26. But there remain two of the men in the camp, and the name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the spirit rested upon them, and there were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp.
Right. So we see here that these men was in the camp, but what most significantly it says here that they that was written, right? They were written, right? This goes back to the incident that we read in the book of Luke, where Christ sent out those 70, or other translations say 72, right? And then Christ, they come back and cast out devils. He said the devils are subject to us through your name. He says, don't marvel at the devil are dealing with you because of my name. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, but more dealing with that, your names are written in heaven. That's more important. See, these men here were written. See, this is the separation that's down here. You can talk about how you were this, you believe you were that, or you written. If you ain't written down, it is nothing. If your names ain't written in heaven, then it's nothing. See, that don't happen until you endure to the end.
Like the
Men going like they made it already. No,
wow.
all this exalting yourself and all that's a bunch of foolishness, bro. Because if you ain't written in heaven, what is it really after that?
Bites and Edomites.
Yeah, you're gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
You gotta go to those other books.
Huh?
You gotta go to those other books.
You gotta go to them other books, you say?
Yeah, if they're not written in the book of life, because I'm assuming that's what this is referring to. Like their names is written in the book of life. So if it's not written there, like oh,
Oh, God.
we gotta go to these other books to see what happened.
Yeah, you want to be in the other book. You don't want to be in the other book.
Yeah, man, that's what the book of good deeds and bad deeds or something like that.
Yeah, the book of their works.
Yeah, yeah, the works. Gotta go check your works now. And you know what though, man? Like, just yeah, this has really got me. Yeah, like these prophets, like, cause I'm like, man, like I even looked up the Hebrew word for prophet, and I'm like, part of it means to sing, and
Con.
I'm like, man, so
Yeah.
it's really got me more and more looking into this whole thing about okay, David he set up the priestly course, but then he set up the course for the musicians, and I'm just like, is he getting a pattern that was after? Because like what David set up wasn't set up under Moses. That came when he became king, and I'm like, is that something that's coming down from the Melchizedek order, what he has set up?
Con. Con. Right.
And with David himself being a prophet, as it said in the book of Acts, how David was a prophet, but he was king too, and it looked like he had some priestly, what's the word I want to use? Priestly uh permissions, I guess. Like some priestly type permissions in order to do certain things like eating the showbread and all that. Like, yeah, it just got me thinking. I'm like, man, like, was the Melchizedek order kind of always in operation this whole time?
I think it is. I mean, it's always been there. It's always been there. It's the original order. I think in the gospel account, it talks about when the Messiah was eating with the apostles, and when they finished eating, he said they sung a hymn. Yeah.
Yeah, even with the whole Psalm 119, whenever it's saying I have more understanding than all my teachers, I'm like, are those prophets that those teachers are referring of that you got to try to exceed their understanding? Like, are they prophets under the Melchizedek order as opposed to the Levitical order?
God. No, but you should though. You should try to exceed your teacher because that's what we see with Elijah and Elisha, right? Elisha asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. That's what he asked for, right? And he got it, right? He tells him, "Well, I think it's a hard thing, right? It isn't easy to exceed your teacher, right? That dedication and work, you know what I'm saying? But he got a double portion of it, and we see clearly that Elisha did quite as many miracles as Elijah when you count them all up, because he had a double portion of the spirit. So he did double, right? He did double. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's about you turning you. It's about you. You know what I'm saying? Taking it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? These guys are too content who just want to just be what the teacher is teaching and keeping it there. Like you don't want the most out to use you to bring out information too, right? You're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Again, he's not just using one man. Where is that in the Bible at? He's not there. He's multiple men, right? But again, as the more you dedicate, the more you put in, the more you serious, the more you're going to be fed. As we see Paul said, I worked them.
Mhm.
I worked them guys. They came before me and worked with them and signed all of that. He said, but I came behind them and did what? I worked them.
Mhm.
I put the work in. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
And I was given more wisdom than them. Right? We see it in his writings how much wisdom he was given.
Yeah.
Right?
Top notch.
Peter
Yeah.
even attested the wisdom given him in his writings.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
He sees it and know it. But it's about how much you want. What you want, you know what I'm saying? He said, and everything that Paul was putting out, we needed it. Did we not?
We did need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sakari didn't seem to think so.
Yeah, they have an issue with Paul's writing, which is ridiculous.
Hey, you called that too. You called that too. The way that, just like that, you was like, yeah, they got some problems coming up on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew it was coming.
So according to the Bible, the worst sin is what, like blasphemy of the Holy Ghost.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yep.
Rejecting the Holy
that's
Spirit.
unforgivable. Let's get that clear what that is. That's unforgivable in this world and in the world to come.
Mhm.
That's not going to be tolerated.
Mhm. Oh.
But again, that's for people who have the Holy Spirit,
But I have it.
like Ananias and Sapphira
Mhm.
in Acts chapter 5.
Mm.
Right? They had the Holy Spirit, so they dropped dead.
Yeah, like they want to hold back on the money.
Yeah.
On,
That's
The houses.
yeah, I mean, that's,
greed.
yeah, they lied. They didn't have to lie. So whatever you say, Satan has filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit.
And then wife heard what happened. She walked up to the porch and then died.
And he dropped right there. She after they took her husband out, she came right in right afterward. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Spirit worked. Like, all she had to say, because he gave her a chance to come clean. He asked her,
did.
"You sold it for so and so?" And she said, "Yeah, we sold it for so and so." He's like, "Wow, why Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit?"
Greed. What's that? Covenants.
Huh?
Covenants.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's a different level of requirement once you get the Holy Spirit.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different level of requirement once you get that, because you're now given a taste of the world to come,
Mhm.
as Paul puts it in the Hebrew, right?
Mhm.
You're given because now you can heal people, you can raise the dead,
Mhm.
right? And they see the powers to come,
Mhm.
right? So basically, you locked in with that,
Come.
right?
Come.
As I went through it before, that's called engagement ring,
Come.
right? That's called an engagement ring, right?
Yeah.
So you got the engagement ring. Once you have that, you're in there.
Get a little piece up front.
Yeah. You're getting that down payment.
Down payment.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So if you don't want, you're taking that engagement ring off and you throwing it to the ground.
Mhm.
Well, it's time for you to die. Then you know what I'm saying? You reject eternal life. You don't want to live no
Put to
more.
death.
Yeah, you put to death. You know what I'm saying? So. I guess, but I'm trying to get back to my ancient Greek, man, because ancient Greek gives you what Paul and them be saying. That's how I found an engagement ring thing. I found it in with the ancient Greek way of speaking, and that they call that word. That word to them is an engagement ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that is crazy. I can believe that's what it actually says. I'm like, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's finish off here, man.
Move it at verse 20. Did you was reading? I believe.
You in verse 27.
27.
Come on.
Numbers chapter 11, reading at verse 27. And there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad to prophecy in the camp.
Prophesying the camp.
Prophesy in the camp.
Go ahead.
Verse 28. And Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, My Lord Moses, forbid them.
So Moses had a servant, Joshua, right? Yehoshua, and the son of Nun. It's so crazy when you come in, man. People tell you a whole bunch of foolishness and you just eat it up, right? When we came in, told us that the son of Nun means the son of nobody. You don't know no better. You believe that nonsense too as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, that's deep, son of none. He ain't son of nobody, Yak. He ain't son of nobody. None. See that? None, brother. I'm like, none is None, right? That's N-U. But you don't know no better. You can go believe in that foolishness, bro.
So trying
I'm
to
just,
say
I'm just,
another
it's
virgin
just
birth.
so easy how someone can manipulate you because you just green coming in, right? That's why I say, man, read, continue to read
yeah.
and study, man.
Mm,
You hear a bunch of foolishness, right? Nobody tell you nothing crazy, man.
come.
They must have got that story from Chizedek when he ain't had no parents, no doc,
Yeah, but not Joshua. I ain't gonna be the son of nobody. Come on, man.
Mm.
Like he came out the thin air or something. What kind of nonsense is that, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of the young men. He was a young man at this time. He answered Moses, "My Lord, forbid them, right? Stop them from prophesying." Go ahead.
Reading verse 29.
Come.
And Moses said unto him, advice,
Envious.
envious thou for my sake.
Right. Are you upset because of me? Because they're prophesying. You envying because of me? Go ahead.
Would God that all the Lord's people were prophets.
Huh? When the Lord, all the Lord people be prophets, right? I would like that all of us be prophets. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be nice.
Go ahead.
And that the Lord would put his spirit upon them.
Lord, put a spirit upon them, right? You see that happening with the Messiah and the followers of the Messiah, right? The true followers. The Lord is doing that. He is doing that, putting the spirit upon them and turning them into prophets, right? So we all becoming mouthpieces for the Most High here, right? So with this right here, we are now encompassing into three offices. We getting three offices. The text tells us we're going to be king and priest, right? You know that. And now with this verse right here, we're going to be now what? Prophets. You're going to have a threefold office like the Messiah had. Threefold. The Spirit come upon him.
And he's gonna apostle us too, huh?
Huh?
When he come back, he's gonna apostle us again too. We'll be apostles at that point too.
You know, we apostle with the Spirit when you call and send you out. You know what I'm saying? The apostle being one sent out.
One sent out.
Yeah, we're gonna be sent out again, of course. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this is the last scripture here, man. So this is the last point, is that yeah, I would that all the Lord's people were prophets. That's what it comes down to. This is where we need to get to be because now you're a mouthpiece for the Most High. Stop speaking your own words. You're speaking the words of the Most High. That's what a prophet do.
Curse word.
Right. Stop talking about be 30 in command. What that nonsense? Get that nonsense out of here, bro. You ain't no 30 nothing. Might be 30, get thrown in the lake, maybe. About it. All right, with that, man, I want to thank everybody for coming on, man. And you guys listening to the class. Hope you guys learned something from the class. We go ahead and stop sharing the screen.
Check the comments.
Let me check it real quick. There's nothing there. And just again, of the live stream here. Anybody got any questions, you can leave it on my channel, YouTube channel, The Way, the Truth, and the Life.